never tried to save my life again.
Hello? Hello? Eternal conflict will end.
Kit mascoming is first.
And there was much rejoicing. And there was much rejoicing.
Greetings, sire.
Hello?
And there was much rejoicing. And there was much rejoicing.
Ah, there you are.
New critical hits Must. Bogu_Bogu just musted Barbie Horse Adventures.
Pleased to see you.
Witness the end, you mortals. The final hour has come.
We've won 3 battles against these monsters, and tomorrow should be no different.
Tempest, give us victory!
I thought you were a debtor for sure. Sure, why not?
Ah, there you are.
New critical hits boost. Palerzan just boosted. I humbly ask you to boost Diablo 3.
And there was much rejoicing. And there was much rejoicing. And there was much rejoicing. And there was much rejoicing.
Amalanduil just boosted Arts Fatalis. Delete this part so Mitrell doesn't see. The $100 have been transferred to your PayPal account.
Greetings, sire.
New critical hits must. Quiescent Pandemonium just boosted Tactic. New critical hits boost. Quiescent Pandemonium just boosted Sacred. New critical hits boost. Quiescent Pandemonium just boosted BG. New critical hits boost. JFC Fuller just boosted Witcher 1. Vote Icewind Dale.
Hi!
New critical hits boost. JFC Fuller just boosted Mass Effect 2. New critical hits boost. Amalanduil just boosted Vote Swinger Wrath of the Righteous.
Hello everyone.
New critical hits boost. Ket Maskaming just boosted
I've been
Speedrun
laughing
Mega Man
non-stop
3.
since the start of the cooldown. Thank you for that. Welcome everybody. Good to see you all. Happy Tuesday. Welcome Catmas the first. Parrotwise Pi, QP, Bogu, Multi,
New critical hits
Amalandil,
boost.
and
JFC Fuller
JFC.
just boosted Divine Divinity. You could vote Icewind Dale if you wanted to. Maybe?
Yeah. Thank you everyone. Thank you. Good to see you all. Thank you for joining so early. And yeah, let's do the boosts first, I suppose. In the meanwhile, you can tell me how you are. How's your Tuesday? Hopefully not too busy. So we start with the Barbie Horse Adventures boosts by Bogu. Hey, XCOM.
New
30.
critical hits
Hey,
boost.
welcome
Ket
XCOM.
Maskaming just boosted. Still thinks that it would be fun to see you speedrun Mega Man 3. Smiley face.
It's not going to happen. How are you, XCOM? Welcome in. So we have a Diablo 3. Obviously, I wasn't able to remember any of those, so we are going to... I'm going to look at my log one by one. And we have a Sacred. And, a Baldur's Gate. Redeem... what? Barbie Horse Adventures? I don't have it. It's not even on PC. I won't be able to play it, so don't waste your points. Got off work some hours ago. I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling better. I'm going to get more into that, but I'm definitely, for the first time, since I started getting sick, I don't feel any sort of soreness or pain in my throat. It's, today it's all good. I have some coughing still. I'm not fully recovered, but I'm definitely feeling better. My voice is still affected. It is more of an effort than usual for me to speak up, but it's definitely getting so much better today. Yeah, thank you, Pi, thank you. And speedrun Mega Man 3, I am ignoring that boost, unless you
New
actually
critical
want to
hits
boost something.
Amalanduil just boosted Shining Force.
Shining Force. There are 2 Mega Man speedrun boosts? Catmas, what are you doing? What are you doing, mate? Okay, that's all the boosts. If you want to change your 2 boosts, Catmas, from Mega Man to whatever actually works, feel free, otherwise we can also refund you, or you can just waste your points. Anyway, good to see you all. Yesterday was slightly frustrating for me, as something that I did not really like took place. You probably know, if you read my announcements, lengthy walls of texts. One overzealous member of the community, whose name starts with Wilhelm, contacted at least 8 people that I was able to find out. possibly more. And to ask for votes on Axe Fatalis. And in my opinion, it is unacceptable behavior. It's pretty much unsolicited marketing, in my opinion. It doesn't make it right that it was for the system. Especially, it makes it even worse because it's, I think, in my opinion, destroys the fair competition environment as well. So I have talked to everyone who actually cast votes yesterday at the behest of Willem, and I told them that it was not okay that it was done, and but I also told them I would be removing their votes. But if they actually wanted to boost votes on Axe Fatalis, they were free to boost on it again, but just not at the behest of someone who simply asks you to. So I removed all those votes, and right now none of them actually voted back on Axe Fatalis, which is kind of funny to me. And so Axe Fatalis votes are culled down to 11, and Icewind Dale is at 17. There's a huge difference now. It can always be there is still time, like 3 weeks, so it can always change, but right now anyway, long story short, starting today, it is actually a bannable offense to tag anyone or mention anyone and ask to join your community or not a cult, or ask for boosts, or ask for votes, whether it is on private messages or in public chats on Discord or on Twitch or wherever. Don't do it. I know none of you do it. It was one person who I know won't do it again, but I have made it into a rule just to cover my bases, just to let everyone know that I don't appreciate that, and no one else appreciates it. So yeah, it is not going to be a thing anymore. Hopefully, all this to lose next poll against Gothic 2. No, it is just to create, because not everyone does that, right? If you don't like asking for votes for your favorite game, you will inherently be at a disadvantage, and it will destroy the fair competition environment. If nothing else, it destroys the fair competition environment because not everyone can or will want to ask others directly for help. So it should not happen, period. Anyway, that's about it. I am happy to discuss why I chose this way. It may look like a very harsh way to stop this, like declaring it a bannable offense. I know it's harsh. I'm not usually a harsh person, but I had to be decisive because I really don't want this to happen anymore. Honestly, I will tell you right now that I think all the politics of the system has been more on the forefront, and all the chillness and the fun environment has been left somewhat behind, which I'm not happy about. So we all have to chill down a little bit about all the politics and once again start enjoying what we are doing here, rather than trying to get the best out of our boosts and votes, and you know what I mean. That's how I feel. Hey Udina, these things you start when I'm about to go to. I'm sorry Udina, we are our time zones is just not that compatible. I'm so sorry, but it's good to see you. I'm glad you were able to stop by. How are you doing, Udai? Hale, welcome in, Ale. Good to see you as well. How are you doing today? And yeah, that's pretty much it. I wanted to go on record sharing how I felt about this. I have, if you have not seen the posts, I have made one announcement on and one general chat channel post about what actually happens and what the new rules are, and I'm happy to further discuss, just not here live but on Discord, so feel free to take the discussion there if you want to talk about it. But I just wanted to say it out loud here. I'm doing definitely better today. You'll sleep when you are dead. Well, I think you will definitely sleep when you are dead, but ideally you should also sleep when you're alive to keep staying alive, you know? It is a mandatory process. I'm definitely doing better, Ale. I'm much better. My throat has almost fully recovered. It is still an effort to get my voice out, and I still have some coughs, especially when I lie down. I feel pressure on my breathing airways, which hurts a bit and causes coughing. Oh, by the way, I will also say now that today is going to be a short stream because we have one case left. We are going to finish Lamplight City today in, I don't know, maybe an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, however long it takes. But it is the last case, and So today is a short stream, and tomorrow I will again take off. I will not stream tomorrow. I know I said I'm much better, but I need another full day's rest because on Thursdays I have other obligations, and I will be back to streams on Friday with Neverwinter Nights to Mask of the Betrayer. So you can't always get what you want. You can have a good sleep. That is a big plus, honestly. If you are able to get a good sleep, that's a big plus. Yeah, that's about it. That's all the nasty, unpleasant announcements out of the way. I guess we have all the early boosts done for now. But again, since today is going to be a short stream, if you want the boosts, don't waste too much time. And all the greetings and hellos and goodbyes. So we should now jump into the game. You're very welcome, Neil, as always. Oh, Ash. Hey, Ash. I'm sorry, I missed your message.
But we're still alive.
Kinda here
alive
working.
And rebuilding.
Good to see you, Ash. Good luck with your work. Thank you so much for stopping by. Okay. So, case 5. We have left us at case 5. Let's start the timer. So, last time we had noticed that the serial killer that we had been reading about on the newspaper was linked in a remarkable way to the killer who killed our hey Karitsa. Hello.
1978 has just cheered for 50 bits.
Thank you so much for 50 bits, Nia. Thank you for stopping by. How are you today? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. So we had noticed lilies in all of the 4 crime scenes, and we had come to the conclusion that this so-called justice killer, the serial killer that was in the front page of the newspapers for the last few months, is actually the person who stole the flowers and caused our partner to get killed at the start of the game. So, as a last case, we have taken it upon us to help the police and help our partner, who is not at rest and is in fact a voice in our heads, until we find his killer. So we are going to try and find him now. You just noticed. What did you notice, Parrot?
Should have listened to your mother. You should have practiced. Mostly cookbooks. Yeah, at least you won't have to worry about starving while you're staying
If you
here.
try to say Lily 5 times quick, it becomes Lily.
There hasn't been much need.
It doesn't exactly become but still it's similar enough. Okay, let's start with the police station, since we are actually working with the police this time around.
Fordham, how goes the investigation?
I'm making some headway.
Is that right? I certainly hope so for your sake.
The rumor was always that the chief kept a bottle of something in a secret compartment in this cabinet. In Snelling's case, it's probably just water.
Who's this?
Chief Jacobs. Now there was a leader.
Previous chief.
Every book and file in there is organized to perfection. I'll bet Snelling gets flustered if anything is even a millimeter out of place. You should bump into the side when he's not looking.
Chief Snelling?
Yes, Fordham?
What information do you have on the justice killer?
Clearly not as much as
Okay,
you.
Cupid, enjoy your lurk. Enjoy
I
your
see
food.
how this is gonna go.
Well, what do you have?
A list of 5 victims, some information on each of them, and no clear idea what connects them. Until your discovery of the lily at each scene, that was where we stood. While I doubt this discovery will do much to aid in tracking him down, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Do you know anything about Percival McDonough?
He's a member of Parliament. I believe his constituency is somewhere in central Kingsland. From the reports I've gotten, McDonough led a rather unassuming life for a politician.
Good luck with your
He
troubles.
is, however, the first victim who didn't live in Chumley. Either there's a link we've missed, or the killer is changing his method. Then again, since you seem so confident in your abilities to resolve this matter, I assume you'll provide an explanation.
Count on it. What do you know about the justice killer's previous victims?
Only what's in their files. All working men from Chumley. That's the only link.
You didn't look further into their personal lives? Maybe they had some social connection.
As I said, the detectives found nothing. You seem to think you can do better, so I'll leave it up to you.
You have to wonder how much more thorough the department's investigations would have been if the 4 men were all rich like McDonough.
So I see the department is still running like a well-oiled machine.
It is, in fact. But I'm sure Upton has kept you well informed of our activities.
That she has.
Incidentally, the woman accused in the Harris kidnapping is set to testify in court today.
Putting merchants and redistributing their gold. Wait, what is that game? That's not real life, is it? If you have access to teleportation technology and you are using it for theft, I would have to talk to you privately about how I might acquire the same technology. I'm assuming that's a game.
Linda Walker's trial is today? That was
Original
fast.
Sin 2.
Indeed.
Ah,
Sometimes
okay.
the wheels of justice grind slowly. Sometimes
Enjoy.
they spin out of control. She'll be taking the stand within the hour. If you care to hear her for yourself, best get going soon.
Listen, about Leger's death.
I don't want to hear it, Fordham. What happened, happened. Nothing you can say is going to change my opinion on the matter.
And if I manage to find the man responsible?
The man responsible is standing before me.
I don't
Even
understand.
if you
This
manage
makes
to
zero
find
sense.
the culprit you let escape, it isn't going to bring Leger back from the dead.
But it will bring closure to the matter.
I mean,
If that thought
maybe it
is what
does
allows you to
make
sleep
sense,
at night,
considering
then
the
so
time
be it.
period that
What makes
this
them think
game
you sleep at night?
takes place in, which was when? Late 1880s, was it? I don't remember the year. I think it was 1880s or something. But I don't think that the police station principles would include not attempting to shoot a criminal holding your partner hostage. Should be an offense. Like, you're not supposed to shoot. It's just too dangerous. How can they assume that it is our fault? Like, today, it is definitely the right call, right? Today, with the principles of law enforcement, you should never shoot. It's just too dangerous to do so, however a good marksman you might be. But maybe in those years, it was different. It doesn't make too much sense to me, but it may be time period accurate.
Enjoying your new position, Snelling?
Reaping the rewards for years of hard work and dedicated service. A gratifying feeling you'll never be able to experience.
Oh, I get my gratification in other ways.
I'm sure you do, and I'd honestly rather not know about them.
I need to get back to my investigation.
Yes, time is not on your side, Fordham.
No need to talk to him just now. Thank God.
Okay. Let's go to the hearing.
Remind me, Miles, why are we here again? Is this for your own personal satisfaction?
Hey, come.
Or did you expect her to
Thank
have
you.
some
Good
useful
to see you.
information?
Thank you for the installer.
Shh.
Mrs. Linda Walker, you stand accused of kidnapping Charles Harris. What have you to say in your defense?
I had to see if I could speak with my son Alexander again.
Yes. According to your initial statement, you seem to believe that the Harris child is the reincarnation of your own deceased son.
All the evidence was there. I thought it had to be him.
And in regards to the execution of your plan, you secretly administered a soporific drug to your friend and the Harris family nanny, Mrs. Henrietta Davis? Is that correct?
Yes. I felt terrible about doing it, but there was no other way.
According to your journal, you used a mixture of chamomile and valerian, instructed by a Samuel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Samuel is a friend of mine. He works at the docks, and he knows all about plants. I asked him what the best combination of herbs would be to put someone in a deep sleep.
So it was your idea, and not his?
Yes, that's right. He only told me about the plants. He's quite the expert. Wait, you should see his collection of Easter lilies.
Okay.
Did she just say what I think she said?
Now then, let's turn
This
our
is
attention to the
interesting.
night in question.
Interesting. This Samuel person might be worth looking into, although we can't waste time searching the docks with just a first name. I'd make a note of it, just in case it becomes relevant later.
So this is very interesting.
All right, I've had enough of this courtroom. Let's get back out there. Time's running out.
Because if we had not solved this case correctly, if we had let this woman get away, this court session would never take place and we would never hear the name Samuel. So our success with that case has affected our success with the final case, which I allow.
No need to talk.
Of course, maybe we would hear the name otherwise. But still. It's a...
Fordham, what brings you to this delightful
Lisa.
spectacle?
How are you, Lisa?
Hello,
Good to
Edwards.
see you.
I'm investigating the Justice Killer.
Welcome in.
I believe I've got a very promising lead.
How was your Tuesday?
I heard an officer mention new orders from Snelling, but I thought he was just pulling my leg. Feel free to have a look around. I'm just writing up the notes from my initial examination of the body, so I'll be happy to share my findings.
Good. I'll just get started then.
Looks pretty fresh. I wonder what the killer uses to write with. Nothing but a bunch of boring documents. You'd think he could have at least been considerate enough to keep something
You're welcome for the
scandalous
shout-out.
in
I'm
here.
feeling much better. Again, not all the way cured. I still have coughs, but my throat soreness has passed fully. So that feels much better. Today is going to be a short stream and I will take tomorrow off. Next week I will be fully recovered, I'm sure. I'm doing much better. Thank you for asking. Okay,
Nothing has been written in yet for next month. Curious.
is there something to find here?
Nothing is...
Like, this page is ripped, but that's normal, is it not?
Odd. The page for this month has been torn out. You suppose Edwards might know anything about that?
Maybe it's not normal, but if we could trace this with the graphite softly, like this, we would see the etches that were written on the torn page, like markings on this paper, right? So if we find some graphite, we could just try scanning it, perhaps. Thank you, Lisa.
The former Percival McDonough, being a good politician. No signs of forced entry that I can see. The murderer didn't come in through this window. Leave it to a politician to hang a portrait of himself in his own office.
Got a moment, Edwards?
Of course. What's on your mind?
So, what was found at the crime scene?
A dead body.
Edwards.
Hey, just trying to lighten the mood a bit. Anyway, there was also the word justice written in blood, as you can see on the floor there.
Is that all?
What more do you need? All the pieces are in place. This is the work of the Justice Killer.
What did your examination of the body turn up?
Apparent cause of death was a single gunshot to the head, exactly like all the other victims. The bullet is still lodged in his brain. I'll remove it once I transport the body back to the mortuary.
Anything else?
No personal effects of note, just a folded up piece of paper in his breast pocket. It's blank, so the police weren't interested. I assume you aren't either.
Of course I am.
Never assume, Edwards. I'll take it if you don't mind.
Be my guest.
Did the police manage to learn anything during their investigation?
Not much beyond what I've already told you. I think they were planning on speaking to the victim's wife, though.
Did you get the address?
I did, as a matter of fact. 1820 Kent Place.
Now we get to deal with the grieving widow. Hopefully the officers who delivered the news got the worst of it.
Did you find an Easter lily anywhere?
An Easter lily?
Yes. The Justice Killer leaves one at every crime scene.
Is that right? I never noticed.
Neither did anyone else, apparently.
So how does leaving a lily at the scene of the crime figure into all of this?
I'm still trying to figure that out, but I think it might be important to understanding his motive.
Well, be sure to let me know if you do figure it out. The thought process of killers is a twisted, curious thing.
What's your take on this whole Justice Killer situation?
It's giving me a lot of extra work, let me tell you. We haven't had a serial murderer in a long time. Not since that fellow who was poisoning people about 10 years ago.
Ah, yes. The Gascon Ghoul. Now there was a case.
Any theories or insights regarding the killer's motive or identity?
That's not really my specialty. If you want to get into that psychology stuff, you're better off talking to someone like Snelling.
Does it feel good to be out of the office?
As long as I have the chance to examine a body and learn something in the process, I don't care where I am. Though I do admit a preference to working in my own environment. Fieldwork can be a bit uncertain. There's so much more potential for contamination, especially with those clumsy officers trouncing about groping everything.
Only they had
Present
gloves.
company excluded, of course.
Edwards, did you notice McDonough's desk calendar?
I wonder when
I
law
did.
enforcement
This month has
started
been torn
using
out.
gloves.
I asked the officers
in
investigating the
examination
scene,
of
and they
crime
had no
scenes.
idea what happened to it.
So it wasn't found in this room?
That's right. My theory is that the killer took it.
Hey,
Which means there was
Vincino.
probably
You
something
never seen this
incriminating written on it. If only there was some way of knowing what it was.
Miles, have you forgotten the
How are
oldest
you,
trick in the
Vincent? Good
book?
to see you.
Just find
How
a
are you
pencil and
doing?
you'll have that information in
Still
no
very
time.
busy.
Edwards, do you have a pencil I might borrow?
I think
Of
we are
course.
doing what
Take this one.
I
Thank you.
thought we would do. You know, trace
That's
over
all for now,
the
Edwards.
page.
Good luck with your investigation.
Yeah, well, I'm doing okay. Better, definitely. I was sick the last few days.
You've become a grave disappointment, kid.
Hey, One Bite. Ooh, good to see you. I'm still sick, but
A classic trick.
so much better.
Let's see if it works.
We are doing exactly what I feel kind of proud. Not because it's kind of a simple puzzle, but still makes me happy. How are you, One Bite? How is your Tuesday? Is this all?
I'm Euron Greyjoy.
Ooh.
I claim the Salt Throne.
Intriguing. We'll need to find out who this Ruby is.
Nice rolls, Ming Shao, Euron. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling better. Thank you, Vincina. How do I leave? I don't want to do this anymore. Let me go. Let me go. Mamma mia, let me go. Okay. Just... You're in Greyjoy. Want to drop in and say hi? Maybe do some boosts. Back to lurk. Okay, One Bite. Thank you so much for stopping by and boosting. Enjoy your lurk. I cannot get out of here.
New critical hits boost. 1 by 2 bits just boosted Gothic 2. New critical hits boost. 1 by 2 bits just boosted Divine Divinity.
Who rolled
New
Commodore?
critical hits boost.
Vincina.
1 by 2 bits just boosted World of Zine.
Nice find, Vincina. Nice find. Gothic, Divine Divinity. And Zine. Thank you for the boosts, One Bite. Destroyer of calendars, I am. Yeah, nice find indeed. Yes, it is an old Commodore 64
Vinci Nomen
advert.
just moosted Dungeon Siege. New critical hits moost. Vinci Nomen just moosted Darkstone. New critical hits moost. Vinci Nomen just moosted Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger. Thank you, Vincina, for the boosts. Okay, One Bite, thank you so much. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully. Good luck with your day. Yeah, okay, can I get out of here, please? Hello? Am I actually stuck? What's going on? Start playing WoW Classic on the hardcore server. You don't respect yourself, your free time, or your happiness. Well, you said it, not me. Okay, I'm pressing all the buttons now. Well, good luck. Good luck. I wouldn't recommend that you do, but I'm actually stuck here. So, did you die already? Or do you have your first character still? What level are you?
Hello. Good.
Level 11 Paladin. So since
Nothing
it's
but a bunch of
classic, it's a human, right? No, I mean alliance, not necessarily human. Human or dwarf, was it? I don't remember the classic limitations. Hey, Ray is here.
No signs of forced entry that I can see. Leave
Welcome,
it
Ray. Good to see you. How are you doing this Tuesday? Alliance, yeah.
Nothing.
I think they brought it to Blood Elves later. Doing okay? Good to hear that.
The former.
Good to hear that. And
His.
let's talk to the
Got a
guy.
Of course.
So, Edward.
This is the first day of work in like 2 months. That is in Pandemonium. You can thankfully hang for a while. Oh, that's good to hear. I'm glad the busy part is over.
So
I'm hoping.
What?
Like permanently.
Is it,
or at least for a while.
No time.
Glad to hear that. Okay, let's get a save. I don't know if it was a bug or not.
Nothing has been written.
Oh,
odd.
Must have been a bug.
got a moment?
Of course.
So
What's
hired
on your
one more
mind?
person. Okay.
Ed.
It sounds great. Hopefully you will start having more
That's
free
all.
time.
Good luck.
Maybe even have some of your own streams. You still have to finish Golden Axe, you know.
A classic.
Let's focus here.
Aha! McDonough met with this person.
No, come on. I want to get out of here. Is this bugged? Did this happen to anyone? Let me try in full screen. Must have every. I did that. I did that. It didn't work. Rub harder. I rubbed as hard as I can. Okay. We all have our limits.
A classic trick. Let's see if it works. Aha! McDonough met with this person the night of the murder.
Not pressing
I'll
anything.
bet 500 crowns it's a false name, but at least it's something.
No, drop the pencil down, okay? Drop it. Okay, let me see if I can find anything on the internet. Lamplight City cannot drop pencil calendar screen bug. Okay. Stuck with pencil. I cannot find anything about the bug. It's like it didn't happen to anyone. Well, I have only looked for 30 seconds. Let me check with full screen. It will not capture properly.
A classic.
So when I take the pencil in my hand, I cannot drop it anymore. I cannot exit before finding the clues either. No, windowed or full screen doesn't change anything, and I cannot get out of this screen. Is there actually something else, maybe?
Intriguing. We'll need to find out who this Ruby is.
Hey, Marto. Hey, Draven. Good to see you both. I'm doing much better. Oh! Wait, it's fixed now. It's fixed. I'm doing much better. Thank you. I'm not fully recovered, but like 90% recovered. A little bit more rest, and I will take tomorrow off. I shall be fully recovered for next week. How are you, Draven? Are you still sick? Are you feeling better? How is your wife? Robin with a 3-stream streak. Hey, Robin, good to see you. You're very welcome, Marto. Okay, we were bugged for a while, getting stuck with that pencil calendar screen, but it's fixed now. You are sick now. Oh, it's your turn.
No time to waste with...
It's your turn. Sorry to hear, Marto. It's going to take a few days, but you will get better. Not 100%, feeling a lot better. Same with your wife, that's good to hear. It's
critical hits
everyone
boost.
is sick. With
Marto
I'm pretty sure
Varna
it's the
just
same
boosted
sickness.
Mass Effect 2. New critical hits boost. Marto
Get well soon,
Varna
yes.
just boosted
Robin 4
Mass
Days
Effect
has
3.
just cheered for 15
New
bits.
critical hits
Get
boost.
well
Marto Varna just boosted Anachronox.
Thank you for the bits, Robin. Thank you for the 15 minutes. Very much appreciated. How are you doing today? You are not sick also, are you? Thank you for the boost, Marto. And, yeah, we are going here.
New critical hits boost. Draven just boosted Anachronox.
Anachronox.
What? Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. Your butler just announced me.
Oh, of course. Forgive me. I was just, well, never mind. Please make yourself comfortable, Mr. Fordham.
Thank you, Mrs. McDonough.
Hope it's still alive. Anachronox. Thank you for the boost, Draven. Draven, are you going to stream? Okay, I'm rephrasing my question. Are you not going to stream until Saturday? I know you are going to stream on Saturday. But will you be taking days off until then?
They look expensive, but I bet they're totally worthless. I feel sorry for the sucker who has to clean them.
You're planning on streaming tomorrow. Okay. That's good news. I'm glad you are feeling good enough to stream.
Just a painting of some boring old aristocrat. Lord Alfred Edward Shufflebottom the Wise comes to mind when looking at this one. This one looks like a Lady Camilla Prudence Wigglewaddle the Grey. They look expensive, but I bet they're totally worthless. I feel sorry for the sucker who has to clean them. Lord Alfred... This one? I think I'll call this one Lord Edmund Henry Lickspittle the Elder.
Lickspittle the Elder.
They look
What kind of a name is that?
I appreciate you seeing me, Mrs. McDonough. I know you must be going through a difficult time right now.
What exactly is it you want from me, Mr.
That's evil.
Fordham? I already spoke to the police about my
Not
husband's
bad.
murder.
It's 620.
I just have a few questions of my own.
I mean,
Oh,
it's
very
bad.
well.
I mean, it's evil. I mean, it's so bad it's good.
What can you tell me about your husband?
I'll tell you the same thing I told the police, Mr. Fordham. Percival was one of the hardest working members of Parliament. He took his job extremely seriously. The recent election caused him a terrible amount of consternation, as I'm sure it did most people. He took Atwood's loss rather hard.
Did you see much of him?
I beg your pardon?
Surely someone with such an important position in government could find themselves consumed by their work. Did he spend much time at home?
He made it a point to come home and have dinner with me every night, even if he had to return to the office afterwards.
And did that happen often?
At least 3 or 4 times in a week, yes. He'd stay in his office working late into the night. As I said, he was very dedicated to his role.
Sounds to me like she's quite dedicated to hers, too.
Did your husband have any enemies?
He was a politician, Mr. Fordham.
Did he ever receive any kind of
forgot
threats
to
against
start
his
the
life?
timer.
None that I was ever made
That's
aware of. I have no idea who could have killed him, let alone who could have gotten into his office to do it. He hadn't told me about any meetings or appointments this week either.
Was it his custom to inform you of his work affairs?
Oh, well, I've always taken an interest in my husband's work. He'd often mention initiatives he was working on or people he was meeting, that sort of thing. Nothing sensitive or confidential, you understand. Just conversation about his day.
Can you think of any reason why your husband would have been murdered?
Not really. He was a vocal opponent of the construction of the Gascon-Chumley Bridge, but I hardly think that would have been sufficient reason to drive someone to murder.
To grasp the basics.
Well, it's just a
It took me
bridge,
a
isn't
bit
it?
to get used
there
to,
are plenty of other ways to get to Chumley.
The gameplay.
I meant,
routine.
why was he opposed
But
to
once I did, it felt a lot of fun and rewarding as well.
Is exorbitant.
Like once I
Public
gathered
funds
what
should
I should be
used on
doing
roads and
to
buildings
survive,
that are falling apart.
it was a lot of
What's
fun.
the point of having something shiny and new if everything around it is in disrepair?
Towards the end of the stream, it just got so much harder. Like the difficulty spiked with new additions of different types of enemies and abilities. And I couldn't get a grasp on that. So you have to keep finding ways to deal with new threats and enemies, which takes time. It is by no means an easy game, I found, at least for me. So, hey Vero, welcome, very good to see you. I had a lot of fun, but I need to spend more time to actually figure the game out, I should say. The stream wasn't long enough.
Verumamo just boosted Silent Storm. New
The game
critical
needs
hits boost. Verumamo
time
just
investment.
boosted Darklands.
Darklands, Silent Storm.
New critical hits boost. Board Game Heaven just boosted Dungeon Siege.
Dungeon Siege. Dungeon Siege, man. Thank you for your boost, Veru. Thank you for your boost, Board Game Heaven. I am assuming more will come. Hey, Shmizy. You should play
New
it
critical
extremely
hits
good.
boost.
Yeah,
Board
I
Game
agree.
Heaven just boosted Menzaban Bunzum Malamad
Very
Ding Dong.
foolish. Menzaban Bunzum. How are you, Shmizy? Welcome back. Good to see you.
New critical hits boost. Board Game Heaven just boosted Tez Arena.
So I learned that yesterday. Thank you so much for the boost, Board Game Heaven. Much appreciated as always. I learned yesterday that actually whenever you stream Invisible Ink, thank you for the lurk, Vero. You got maths to do, of course. Enjoy your maths. Whenever you stream Invisible Ink, the Invisible Ink Discord server is pinged with the person who is actually streaming the game at that moment. So we had a few people, including Shmizy, drop by to the stream, learning about my Invisible Ink stream, which is very cool. So keep it in mind, if you want to stream the game, you will get some new friends who absolutely love seeing people play the game.
How are you feeling, Mrs. McDonough?
My husband of 42 years was shot in his office. How do you think I feel?
Tactful as always, Fordham. How do you do it?
My apologies. Perhaps that wasn't the most appropriate question. Is there anything I can do to help?
You can start by finding the monster who murdered Percival.
Are you familiar with the art of cryptography, Mrs. McDonough?
What an odd question.
It's just I noticed several books on the subject in
What
your
are you
husband's
casting,
office.
Robin?
Oh, well, yes.
Are you
Percival
casting
was
Charm?
interested in cryptography and secret messages and the like. He would sometimes leave me coded notes when we first began courting many years ago.
What kind of
You
notes?
lost the script as someone
Oh,
on
now,
stream?
Mr. Fordham, those
Why?
were private.
For backseating?
But Percival got a thrill out of knowing I was the only one who could
I'm
read
curious
them.
now. What happened?
Sometimes he would write them using a special ink that would only appear when the paper
wow.
was heated.
Um,
I can't
that
remember
sucks.
the last time he did
It's such
that,
an
though.
asshole thing to do. Sorry that happened, Marto. It's happened here before. It's happened here too. It's a terrible feeling.
Do you know anyone named Shackley?
No, I've never heard that name
You're
before.
wild, man, you don't
Why?
know.
I saw your husband
Well,
had a
you
meeting
just-
scheduled with him shortly before his murder.
You just meteor showered us all.
That can't be
Good
right.
job.
He didn't tell me about that. He always told me about his meetings.
It was written on his office calendar, clear as day.
As I said, I don't know who that person is. Why wouldn't Percival have told me about their meeting?
Why indeed?
You expect people who visit often won't do it because they know. Yeah. Oh, was it a frequent viewer? Or was it a completely new person who did it? In our case, it was a completely new person. not someone who is aware that it is an unpleasant behavior. It was a frequent viewer who just came in and without saying hi, they spoiled the game. Oh, that sucks. That's even worse. Wow, and there's no excuse for that, honestly. It's just very rude.
Are you familiar with someone named Ruby?
I can't say I am. Who is it?
Just a name that's come up in my investigation.
Sounds like the name of a trollop, or perhaps a dog.
Have you heard of the Justice Killer?
That was the name the police mentioned when they told me about Percival's murder. It's absolutely terrifying to think that one sick person could be capable of such evil.
It was backseating.
Why is he called the
Still not okay. I
Justice
completely
Killer?
agree.
What justice was done by murdering my husband?
I'm afraid I can't answer that right now, Mrs. McDonough, but I intend to find out. Those are all the questions I have for now, Mrs. McDonough.
All right, Mr. Fordham.
That happened here as well. In fact, a couple of times, some viewers who were actually viewers from the past, not just came in for the game, they tried to subtly backseat a few times, like giving me subtle hints that didn't sound like hints but were meant to manipulate the way I think and find the solution. After getting warned a few times, they actually just unfollowed and never came back, which I think is a gain for the channel and myself. I'm glad to see them go, but it did happen a few times. It just happens. I don't think there's any way to fully protect yourself unless you don't look at the chat, which is not something, which is probably something you should be looking at. But maybe getting a mod who watches the chat more closely will help.
They look expensive.
If this actually works, I'll eat my hat.
Yeah. Ooh, it worked. Dearest Mary, words cannot express the regret and sorrow I feel for how I acted last night. I swore to myself I would never harm you again after last time, but I have failed us both. It's my deepest hope that you can forgive me and trust that I will never let this monster out again, Percival.
Well, I'll be damned.
No, nothing always works, but it does sometimes.
Can we talk some more, Mrs. McDonough?
I suppose so, yes.
Do you know anything about this letter?
I'm afraid I don't have my spectacles. What is it?
The coroner found it in your husband's pocket. He gave it to me because he thought it was blank. But after you told me about your husband's propensity for writing secret messages, I decided to try exposing the paper to heat. Allow me to read it to you. Dearest Mary, words cannot express the regret and sorrow I feel for how I acted last night. I swore to myself I would never harm you again after the last time, but I have failed us both. It is my deepest hope that you can forgive me and trust that I will never allow this monster out again.
I see. May I have that letter, Mr. Fordham?
I'm afraid I have to keep it for now. It's evidence.
I suppose that that does make sense.
It's just the side effects of playing games live on stream.
Mrs. McDonough, did Percival mistreat or abuse you?
He wasn't a bad man, Mr. Fordham. I wouldn't have married him if he was. It's just the stress of his responsibilities would sometimes oppress him.
How can you protect a man
I would try and offer
who
comfort,
physically
soothe his
abused you?
nerves. But there were a few instances where he lost control of his passions.
Did he ever hit you?
He did.
How many times did this happen?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe 2 or 3. You don't exactly count these things.
Cleaner remote.
What a
If anyone
bastard.
sees a spoiler,
Maybe
they
it serves
spam
him
the
right
remote.
for getting shot.
As soon as the streamer
Thank you
sees
for your
the remote,
candor,
they
Mrs.
don't read
McDonough.
chat until it has
Can we
been
please
deleted
talk
by
about
mod.
something
We
else?
suffer up chat, they can't see it anyway. Yeah, but see,
Those are all the questions I
it
have for
doesn't
now,
always
Mrs.
work.
McDonough.
All right, Mr. Fordham.
We have this here. We have this command here, which can be used by, I think, mods only, or mods and VIPs. I'm not so sure. I don't remember what I set it to. It cannot be used by everyone to avoid abusing, obviously. But we have that. But you know, typing that out or putting an emote down or deleting a message banning the person, it's not ever fast enough. Not always fast enough. Sometimes it's fast enough, but not always. None of those are sure solutions. Yeah, apparently VIPs can use it too. If it's an action adventure game, some third-person shooter, you're fine with it. Exactly. You're bad at those, you welcome it. Exactly. I completely agree with you, Marto. It's completely my stance as well. So I fully understand.
Probably.
It just attracts attention to Chad. I mean, if I hear that sound, I tend to not look, but... I don't know. I sometimes look at the chat because I hear the sound as well. It doesn't always work. Like, nothing always works. Let's go back here.
Looks pretty fresh. Looks pretty...
The person who most likes to abuse that is a VIP. I mean, I will ban VIPs. Just because someone is a VIP, they should not get the impression that they won't be banned for abusing channel mechanics. So tell that VIP Bogu to... You know what?
No time to waste with further conversation right now. You've got a killer to find.
Pero should just ban everyone. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Let's ban everyone.
No time.
If you ever meet that VIP, you'll tell him. Okay, Bogu. Thank you. Okay, let's see what I'm missing. Find out the identity of Ruby. Let's go to police station. What just happened? Why did these appear suddenly? Like 4 different locations suddenly appeared after I visit Upton. Or is it because I looked at the testimonies and clues? Reports? Oh, it's because I looked at the reports. And now all of those locations of the previous killings have appeared on the map. Okay. I think. Maybe.
Well, that doesn't look good. This place sure is big. I wonder if they actually make anything useful.
Excuse me, sir. Are you in charge here?
Unfortunately. Who are you? This area isn't open to the public.
I'm Miles Fordham, and I'm a private investigator looking into the murder of one of your workers.
A private investigator, eh? And maybe you can help me out.
I'll do what I can, but I'll need to ask you some questions, Mr.
Mims. Sanford Mims. Go ahead, but make it snappy.
I should probably read those reports fully.
What can you tell me about Hannibal Kirkland? A former employee here?
Listen, I've got a lot on my mind right now.
I understand, but it's important to my investigation that you tell me what you know about him.
I'm sure it is, but as you can see, I've got a lot to deal with right now.
Well, he's no help. Maybe you can figure out a way to help him help us.
How long have you been the foreman here?
Sometimes I think it's been too long. Things were so much easier before we got these machines. They keep saying they're supposed to improve our lives, but they've been nothing but trouble. I've already had 5 of my best men get mangled by some of them. And then there's these damn fools blowing things up. My hair wasn't this gray 5 years ago, you know. I swear one of these days, I'm just going to pack it all up and retire. Let someone else deal with these damn things.
Are you sure you can't tell me anything about Hannibal Kirkland?
It's like I've told you. I've got...
Fine.
What happened to your iron mill?
What's it look
Hey,
like?
Nix.
The damn thing
Good
went
to
and
see
got
you, Nix.
blown up.
How are you doing?
Was it in disrepair?
How is
Of course
escape
not.
going?
All my machinery is sound. Checked and serviced regularly.
More working days.
This is the work of those goddamn Redites.
December.
I'm sure of it.
Holiday until 27th December. Are you going to be working at the New Year's Eve? But yeah, that's very nice. So many days of holiday. Knee is still feeling better. That's great. That's good to hear. I'm glad you are recovering.
What makes you certain the explosion was the Redites doing?
Take a look, boy. The whole mill got taken out. Even if this had been a mechanical failure, which it wasn't, the explosion would have been contained to a single part of the machine. This couldn't have been anything other than sabotage.
Have you had problems with Redites before?
They've sent anonymous letters, but this is the first time they've actually carried out one of their threats.
You're absolutely sure this was sabotage, then?
Yes. How many times have I got to tell you that?
One more.
Listen, you said you were an investigator, right? So find out who did this to my machine. If you do,
I mean, you don't
I'll
have to tell
help you
them.
out with whatever else you wanted to ask me about.
Looks like we haven't got much of a choice.
You don't have to tell them
Seems
that it's
pretty
recovered.
upset about his machine.
I'll see what I can do.
You'll be working 2029 off again until 3rd of January. It's okay, right? It's okay. What? That's 19 days of holidays, 2 more days of work, then another 4 days of holidays. That's a long time. Very true, doctor said 6 weeks, yeah.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
The who?
He's a serial murderer who's killed 5 men over the past 4 months.
I assume you have some
Is that
sort of
right?
report,
Never heard of it.
like a note.
He
for
may have
6
killed one of your
6
men.
weeks.
Weren't the police here asking about it?
Oh, is that what that was all about? I know they came poking around here a while back, but I was busy dealing with other things.
It's nice to see the lines of communication here are wide open.
Are you?
It's like...
Okay.
I'll be going now.
Be careful on your way out.
Honestly, you should always work from home, in my opinion. If your
Completely
work
ruined.
allows for it.
Whoever sabotaged this knew what they were doing. This place.
Hey, that area is for workers only.
My apologies.
Okay, we cannot go there, we cannot do anything here.
Completely.
Yeah. I know the pains of commuting to work or school. So many hours lost on the road. It's just a waste. Helps no one, hurts so much.
They seem to be making pretty decent progress. Safe for only 25 men at once. I used to draw the line at 2. I wonder if it would be any fun to tie yourself to that thing and go for a few spins.
I don't think so.
Excuse me.
Hey, what are you doing here? This is a construction area.
Travel 2-3 hours per
I'm
day.
Miles
Your
Fordham,
record
a
was
private
5.5
investigator.
hour
I'm
one-way
looking into the
home.
murder of a man who used to work here.
Fordham? You the
You
same
need to
man who
commit for
got
6
Laura Dupre
hours, 4
arrested?
times a week. That's
Yes,
so terrible.
that's right.
Ah, good to meet you. I'm Gerard.
I used to be
my
like
sister
that
Amelie used to work as her
at some
cook.
point in my
Would
life.
tell me stories about how horrible Dupre was. Good to see some justice done for a change.
I
Glad to be
cannot
of
do it
service.
anymore.
And good to
I
meet you
wouldn't
as
be able
well,
to do it
Gerard.
anymore for any
So you
reason.
say you're looking into a murder? You talking about Bowditch?
Yes, that's right. I had a few questions for you, if you don't mind.
Nah, should be okay to talk for a few minutes.
You worked with Ennis Bowditch, right? What can you tell me about him?
Ennis was fun to talk to, always telling stories. Pretty sure most of them were made up. But it made time go by faster while we worked, and he made me laugh. We weren't really friends, but it's duller without him around, you know?
Do you know what Bowditch did on his off time?
Not really. I only saw him on the job. But I know he was seeing a woman. I forget what he said her name was, though.
Did he mention anything else about her?
Oh, sure, but I don't think they are the type of thing that would help you, if you get my meaning.
Right. Anything of a non-personal nature that might help me find her?
Yes, he mentioned she worked as the serving girl at the ruined coffee house.
Maybe the justice killer was killing men who hurt women. I feel like it's going towards that direction, but we'll see.
Do you know any details concerning Bowditch's murder?
I only found out when the
Have to
boss
go
man
out
told us.
there with other
Can you think of
people.
anyone
Oh,
who
no.
might have wanted him dead?
Oh no.
Well, everyone here liked
Protect
him.
yourself
I don't think he owed
from
no
all
one
those
money
other
or
evil humans,
nothing like
JFC.
that. But maybe someone at his
Good
other
luck.
job
I'll see
wasn't
you
so
later.
friendly with him.
Have a great rest
Who
of your
knows?
day.
Other job?
Ennis also worked at the docks as a longshoreman.
Well, that would have been handy to know sooner. Better late than never, I guess.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
Justice Killer? No, I don't know anything about that. Who is he?
A serial murderer. He's the one who killed Ennis Bowditch.
And you trying to find him?
That's the plan.
Well then, I wish you luck. Ennis didn't deserve to die the way he did. I hope that murdering bastard gets what he deserves.
So, the Gascon-Chumley Bridge is finally being worked on.
That's right. The project started up again shortly after the election. That
fuck
Leroy,
begins.
he's not wasting any time. Maybe a good thing for the city.
Now playing
for the
Don't Talk to
country.
Strangers by Dion.
Indeed. I think it will be. How long before the bridge is complete, do you think?
They say it will take 5 years, but who knows? As long as the work is steady, you won't find me complaining.
Do you normally work in construction?
Mostly. Sometimes I'd be doing other jobs here and there. But I'm lucky to have gotten this job. I think it will keep me in work for a long time. Which is good, because I have 3 mouths to feed at home.
Be sure to watch yourself then. I hear these types of jobs can be dangerous.
Oh,
Leroy,
believe
that's almost
me,
like
I
Leroy.
know. One slip up and bam, that's the end of you. But I always watch myself.
Those are not the lyrics, but I admit I like this version better.
How's your sister doing?
Good. She still works for the Dupre family, but with that monster Laura gone, she's much happier. She tells me the family is acting like the madame never existed, and the husband raised Amelie's pay too.
That does sound like an improvement.
It's just a shame 2 others had to die for it.
Would you happen to know anything about the Redites?
I heard some of the other men talking about them, but I don't ask too many questions. Seems to me they just a bunch of angry and confused people with no other way to express themselves than lashing out. I admit I feel sorry for them.
You're not worried about Steam Tech putting you out of a job?
Nah. Machines can only do so much. You still need a man to make them work or to fix them when they're broke. I think them Redites are just
Redites
making
are
a big
yellow.
fuss over nothing.
Thank you, Gerard. I appreciate the information.
Not a problem, boss.
Safe for only
Okay. Am I missing anything?
I don't think... I wonder...
Let me, before I forget... Let me read this properly. Victim name Hannibal Kirkland, age 32, cause of death single gunshot to the head. Ironworker at Thoroughboom Ironworks, Chumley. Summary. Police found Kirkland in his home after his foreman reported Kirkland's absence from work. Apart from word justice written in the blood, nothing unusual was found at the crime scene, and no witnesses came forward. Investigation into Kirkland's personal life and habits revealed nothing of interest. Reggie Willingham, age 47, cause of death single gunshot to the head. Occupation cabbie for Colson's Cabs. Summary. Police found Willingham in his home after a missing persons report was filed by his employer. Crime scene was inspected, but aside from the word justice written on the wall in blood, nothing unusual was found. No witnesses came forward, and investigation into Willingham's personal life and habits revealed nothing of interest. Ennis Bowditch, 29, single gunshot to the head, construction worker at Gascon-Chumley Bridge. Police found Bowditch in his home after his employer contacted police. Crime scene showed signs of modus operandi of the so-called justice killer, but no other leads or clues were found. No witnesses came forward. Investigation and questioning of Bowditch co-workers and former lady friend proved fruitless. Burley Coase, 26, single gunshot to the head. Lamplighter, working from the Central Lamp Depot, Worcester. Ooh. It's the name of the game, chat. Officer Douglas Parsons discovered Coase in his home after a report of a gunshot was made by neighbor Ethel Williamson. Parsons surveyed the scene and found the word justice written in blood, but no other leads or clues. Investigation into Coase's personal life and habits produced no further clues or leads. Worcester? Oh, Worcester, yes, you're right. Worcester. Bertie? Yes. Wait, what? Worcester. I learned Chumley, but Worcester is more difficult to learn.
Huh.
I should remember that it's like Rooster. Let's go in order. Let's go to gas conduct. Birdie.
Blank surfaces don't stay that way for very long around here.
Bye, birdie.
Blank surfaces don't stay that way for very long around here. Blank.
Okay.
This sign could use a fresh coat of paint.
Huh? What? Who is it?
Hello, sir. I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions.
Go ahead, but make it quick. Time is money, after all.
Did you employ a man named Ennis Bowditch?
I did, yes. He only worked for me occasionally, but he was always punctual and performed his job well. I learned recently that he had been killed. It was a tremendous shame. Workers of his caliber are so hard to come by.
Do you have any information relating to Mr. Bowditch's murder?
I'm afraid not. The truth is, I knew very little about him. It's the same with most of my men. I have a business to run, you see. It affords me very little time to socialize.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
I believe I saw a headline in the newspaper recently mentioning that name.
I will say, you chose the best class for hardcore.
Fear-mongering nonsense. There are more important things I need to worry about.
But the Justice Killer is directly responsible for the death of one of your workers.
Oh? Is that right? Well, there's nothing I can do about it. What my men get up to in their off time is none of my business.
Wow, this guy is even worse than you, Miles.
What does your work here involve?
I'm in charge of tracking and cataloging all the cargo that passes through here. I receive the shipping manifest and make sure that things get unloaded and sent to the right places.
And you do all this by yourself?
I don't know.
Of course not. I'm in charge of administration. A team of workers does all the heavy lifting.
Thank you for your time. I'll let you return to work.
Right you are.
Is this Samuel? No, Trevor Hastings. Wait, where do I know this name from? I remember that name.
Ah, the chum. You can never truly get away from it as much as you may try.
Is this the man who was bringing flowers to the flower shop?
Ah, the chum. What, you want me to howl at it or something?
No, bark. Bark at the moon.
Trevor Hastings, is that you?
Why, Detective Fordham. Fancy seeing you again.
He is
What
the
brings
flower
you down to the
deliverer.
docks?
I'm trying to track down a serial murderer, who I believe is the same man who was breaking into the flower shop.
You don't say. I wish I could help you, but the guy never came back after the night you and your partner came around. Where is your partner anyway?
Oh, he's around.
Well, give him my regards. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get this crate back, or Cecilia will have my head on a platter.
Of course. Good seeing you again.
He's around? That's probably the most clever thing you've said in months. Well done.
Keep up the good work, Mr. Hastings.
I don't know what to make of this encounter. Why would the game put this guy here? Am I supposed to suspect that this guy is actually Samuel and is the same person as the flower stealer, justice killer? I don't think so. It doesn't sound the same. He's more elderly. Is it just a random encounter? Could be. Or maybe once we learn the surname of Samuel, we can go back and ask Trevor about the person. Possibly.
Not in much of a hurry to
Let's listen to the conversation, if it still works.
Hey, you know, the froth on my beer isn't dripping down this cup. I don't think they washed it.
Did you hear what he said?
For me, yeah.
Part of my beer is dripping down this side of this cup. I don't think they washed it. He said something like that.
Pretty crazy, huh?
Pretty crazy, huh?
Killing everyone out there. You're telling me, yeah. Jeez, I know. It's like all over the place. Yeah.
Begging your pardon, miss.
How can I help you, sir?
I understand you were involved with Ennis Bowditch.
Was involved, yes. I haven't spoken to him in nearly 2 months.
Oh, were you not aware of his death then?
What? Ennis is dead?
Well, this is awkward.
Indeed. I'm sorry to have to be the bearer of bad news.
How did it happen?
I'm afraid he was murdered.
Murdered? By who? And why?
Those are exactly the questions I'm trying to answer myself.
Oh, I see. Are you a detective?
A private investigator, yes.
Well, I'll answer what I can. If it helps any, that is.
I'm certain it will. What was your relationship with Mr. Bowditch like?
Oh, well, it was nice at first. He was a proper gentleman-like. But then something changed.
Oh?
It's like I told Ruby. I think he might have got hit on the
Ruby?
head at work because he seemed to be a completely different person. He'd get angry for no reason. He even...
Hits you.
Well, that bit's not
No,
important.
he hits you. Tell me.
At first, I thought he was just going through some rough times, but after a while I realized he'd changed for the worse. So I broke things off. He wasn't too happy about it, but I wasn't going to stick with a man like that.
This friend of yours, Ruby, did she
I think
know
I might
an
be on the
MP
right track.
named Percival McDonough?
I'm not sure. Ruby knows a lot of men.
Is that so?
Well, no, I don't mean... It's just... Oh, damn it all, me and my big mouth. She'll have my guts for garters now.
It's all right. No one's in trouble. But I think I'd like to speak with Ruby. Could you tell me where I can find her?
No. You see, she moves around quite a lot. Never in the same place for more than a night or two.
Right. I think she's given us a clear picture of what Ruby does for a
A
living.
working woman.
Normally, I'd be all for pressing this girl more until she cracks, but I like her. I think we'll be able to find Ruby without causing her more discomfort.
Well, thank you for the information. You've been very helpful. Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
Justice Killer? Is that some kind of pesticide?
Hey,
no,
Cottonash.
it isn't. Never mind.
How are you, Cottonash? Good to see you.
You've been working here for quite a while, haven't you?
I have, yes. Coming up on 3 years. Been a real pleasure getting to know all the regulars. They've come to be sort of like a second
afternoon.
family. By the way, whatever happened with you and your lady friend?
I beg your pardon?
Well, that nice lady you met in here a couple of times. Did it
One
work out
meeting coming
between
up,
the
you'll
two
be
of you?
lurking like a
Oh,
while.
that?
Of course,
No,
Vincino.
that
Good luck
was
with your
strictly
meeting.
business.
Hopefully it's bearable.
Right. Well,
Thank you for the lurk.
if you see her, tell her I said hello.
I want to advance
I'll let you
against
get back to
yes.
Thank you,
I've got
sir.
a few more planned after this.
She's busy.
So we learned about Ruby. How would we find her? And let's keep going to all the locations first. How did I like Cat Rain? I really enjoyed Cat Rain.
Your sound card
What are you
works
doing?
perfectly.
Thank you so
I'm
much for the
Miles
follow.
Fordham. I'm
Welcome
trying
to
to
the
find
channel.
out about...
No time for that
Catherine,
now. Get in here
I really
and
like the main
shield your
character. I really like the environment.
I beg your pardon?
The ambience.
Just do it.
I really like the elements that they combined from
What's going on exactly?
other things that I like. Like there were a lot of references to Gabriel Knight.
Everything ready,
It
Alex?
felt like a Lynchian, surrealistic
3,
story.
2, 1, go!
Yeah, I loved all of it. It was a bit on the easy side as far as adventure games go.
Amazing! It works! It works!
What works?
Etheric lamps! Our experiment was a success!
Yes, it was the director's cut.
What exactly have we wandered into here, Miles?
May I ask you a few questions?
Of course! What would you like to know?
You worked with a man named Burley Cause, is that right?
Yes, I heard he was killed. Such a senseless tragedy. It's a shame he missed out on our demonstration.
I love his hair and
He was really
goggles.
interested in etheric technology.
Wasn't he concerned about losing his job to these technological advances?
He had no reason to. It's been made clear to all the workers that there will always be a place for us, even if our jobs are made obsolete. Unlike some other places, we take care of our own here at the Lamplight Depot.
How noble. But I'm pretty sure he's full of more hot air than the HMS Lenore.
Is there anything you know about Mr. Caus's
You want me to
personal
count
life
voice
that might
for
be
a machine?
relevant?
That's, yes. That's
No, he was
definitely
married,
on my
but I
list.
don't believe he had any children.
I have a
and
few
he
more
used to
games
talk about
planned
his love for
from
fishing.
Grundislaw.
Could you give me his home address?
I'm also going to be
Perhaps his
playing
wife
Van
would be willing to
Jordan's.
speak with me.
Yes,
And
certainly.
I'm looking forward
he lived
to
at
the
820
release of
Orchard
Rosewater.
Avenue, apartment 2A.
Thank you for the information.
And there is another game. It was on my list, but I'm blanking now. Let's see. What was it? The Samaritan Paradox. It's also made by Fairwood, who was Wait, I got the developers confused, but yeah, Whispers of a Machine, makers of Clifftop and Fairwood. You were referring to Clifftop, right? Cathy Rain and Whispers of a Machine, but there was another developer involved in Whispers of a Machine, which is Fairwood Interactive, and they have made another game, which is called The Samaritan Paradox, which I also got recommended, so I'm considering playing that as well.
Do you know any details about Mr. Caus's murder?
Unfortunately, I don't. The police were here asking questions, but they didn't give me many details.
Do you know of anyone who might have wanted him dead?
Not at all. Burley was very friendly.
For a second,
Always
I thought
treated
we were,
everyone around here
for some
with
reason,
respect.
talking about this
You know,
game.
it's sad to think that for
Anyway.
all our leaps forward, we're still really just a bunch of savages.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
I've read about it in the newspaper. A horrible business. It makes me wish we could install more street lamps to keep this city safer at night. Someday, I hope to realize that dream. Then we'll really deserve to be called Lamplight City.
You think brighter streets will stop serial murderers?
It's well known that crime rates are lower in Lyon and Worcester, and they have many more street lamps per square mile.
I'm sure it has absolutely nothing to do with the amount of wealth in those areas. Has to be all about the lighting.
You mentioned something about etheric lamps?
Yes! Weren't you paying attention to our demonstration? You have just witnessed history!
What I witnessed was a blinding flash of light.
Exactly. It's
that
a good.
flash was the result of years of painstaking
I almost think
research
it's an
and
homage to
experimentation.
Gabriel
It
Knight.
means that not only does ethericity exist, but
Welcome,
it can
Joe.
be used as a source of
Welcome to the
illumination. If these experiments continue to be successful, as I suspect they will,
Not
we'll
just the
have
character portraits,
etheric
but
street
also the
lamps before
overworld
the end
map.
of the decade. Imagine lamps that
By
burn
choosing your
twice
next
as
location,
bright,
it's
4
very similar
times as
to
long. Oh,
Gabriel
this
Knight once
will
now.
change everything.
And if it's like anything else we've seen, it'll put a lot of people out of work, too.
With all these promises of technological advancement, have the Redites given you any trouble?
Oh, those tech-fearing dolts. Yes, I'm sorry to say that we've gotten threats from them. They have yet to carry any out, which is unsurprising.
How so?
Groups like that are all bluster and no backbone.
I've seen some evidence to the contrary.
Is that right? Well, we've seen little beyond threatening letters, and I intend to make sure it stays that way.
Do you have any of these letters I might have a look at?
Yes, I have one. I'll give it to you before you leave.
What is it you do here exactly?
Oh, several things. This is the main hub of the city's Department of Illumination. It's really just a grandiose way of saying that this is where all affairs related to street lamps and public lighting are taken care of. But in addition to sending out lamplighters or mechanics to repair damaged lamps, we also do research into new methods of illumination. That's what my personal specialization is. I help develop and test more efficient ways of lighting our streets. I guess you could consider me a modern-day Prometheus. Yes.
More like an everyday pretentious.
Hold on to your kidney.
Your cooperation is much appreciated.
Happy to help. Here's that letter you were asking about.
To the engineers of chaos and destruction. You are working in direct opposition to the natural order of things. These so-called improvements will be downfall of our society. If you do not cease your unholy experiments, the Redites will be forced to take action. You have been warned. PF.
And that's interesting. Whoever wrote this letter signed it with initials.
PF.
They can't have been so stupid as to make themselves so easily identifiable. Can they?
PF. What is PF? Welcome back, UP.
Too bad you didn't get a chance to read that sign before their little experiment. There's a bunch of I wouldn't get too close to that thing.
Pathfinder.
It might end up turning you inside out. I wouldn't get too... So this is where all the lamps in the city come from. I can't believe I never bothered finding out before. Leave him...
Okay, the pulsing noise is so annoying. Let's just leave. Okay, this just pops up. I think.
Remember, a black eye is not a badge of honor. Anyone picking a fight will be dismissed immediately. Well, that's hardly any fun, is it?
Good evening.
Oh, it's you again. Small world.
Indeed. Mr. Shaw, was it?
New critical
That's
hits
right.
boost.
So,
Photomash just
what
boosted
brings
Ice
you
Line down.
around to the cab depot?
I wanted to ask you some questions.
Did you see the
Spare
poll,
some time.
Kotomash?
Hey, shouldn't
By
be
the way.
a problem.
Did you know Reggie Willingham?
Reggie? Sure, I knew
New
him.
critical
Well,
hits
just
boost.
as rather I didn't.
Kotomash just boosted
Oh,
Pathfinder.
why do you say that?
Kingmaker.
The man was a bore, a scoundrel, a no-good bounder.
I wish he would tell us how he really felt.
Only reason they kept him on here was because he was a good driver.
So it's fair to say you didn't
New
like him?
critical hits
Nobody
boost.
did.
Kotomash
When I heard
just
he'd been
boosted
killed,
DSX2.
wasn't exactly a surprise. If I treated people the way he did, I'd surely have a lot of enemies.
Icewind Dale. Kingmaker. Deus Ex. Thank you for the boost, Kotomash. Thank you, thank you.
Could you elaborate a bit on Mr. Willingham's behavior?
Oh, he was a proud one. Thought he was God's gift to mankind. Always strutting around, bragging about how many gratuities he'd earned or how many fist fights he'd won against drivers from Phillips. He had the shortest fuse I've ever seen, too. Just looking at him the wrong way could set him off. I'd always laugh to myself when he'd brag about how many women he'd had in a week.
Why is that?
Because it was obvious he had to pay for the pleasure. A man like that isn't going to get a woman otherwise. I may not be a hit with the ladies, but even I know that being a bastard is a surefire way
so
to drop
it was
them off.
another man who hurt women.
Are you familiar with the so-called justice killer?
I've heard a few rumors here and there about some murders in the chum, but I haven't paid them much attention. There's plenty for me to worry about in my own life.
Aren't you concerned for your safety?
Not really. Well, I haven't done anything wrong. So if this loony's going around doing justice, it's nothing for me to worry about.
He makes a good point. I think we need to get a better idea of what exactly these victims did to incur the wrath of our killer.
Well, I'm way ahead of you, detectives.
What can you tell me about Colson Cabs?
But I cannot
Not a
actually
bad
talk
place,
to you.
really. Only problem is the number of people always coming here for work. Lots of folks think driving a cab is an easy job that anyone can do, but that's not the case. You need to know this city like the back of your hand, and it helps to know how to drive. So we get lots of fellas starting here who don't have the slightest clue what they're doing. They don't last long.
What about the automated cabs? Are those a problem for you?
I prefer not to think about those. Coulson has said he's got no plans to replace his fleet, so it's all that matters to me.
Are you still living in Pumblechook Place?
I am, sir. Things are more or less the same, except Roger's not around anymore. Suppose he must have moved on. Hope he isn't
Wait,
planning on
number
coming
of accepted
back, 'cause
nominations is
his
44?
paintings made for great kindling.
Oh, I have a
That
feeling
sounds
he won't
low.
be.
Is that correct? No, it's supposed to be 159. What? What is 44? That's so weird. Okay. I don't know what that is. I don't know where it's getting 44 from. I will have to check it out later. Is this the original Icewind Dale, the enhanced version? It's the enhanced version. We will be playing the enhanced version. It has to win the poll first.
Have you had any trouble from the Redites?
No, sir.
But
they got no reason to give us any trouble. What with us still using horse-strong cabs? I imagine the fellas over at Phillips have, but I can't be certain. We don't deal with those a lot if we can help it.
I don't think interviewing anyone from Phillips would be a good use of our time. Our priority is finding the Justice Killer, after all.
I appreciate your time, sir.
Pleasure's all mine.
Remember, well, that's hardly any fun, is it? Let's leave it. A good old reliable handsome cab. Nothing fancy, just...
Set to maximum.
Wait, didn't you also roll HK-47?
I thought about a career as a mechanic once. Glad I chose...
In your first round. Okay, it is actually gone from the map, so we don't have to go back there. You live in Matrix, yeah.
Apartment 2A. This is
you
the
are the Black
place.
Cat.
There doesn't seem to be anyone at home. The number is a bit faded. Is this 2B or is it not 2B? That's the question.
Shut up.
And I thought the housekeeping in my apartment was bad.
Yeah? May I help you, young man?
Hello, madam. My name is Miles Fordham, and I'm a private investigator. I have some questions about your neighbor.
You mean my former neighbor?
Yes. In any case, I'd appreciate it if you could help me with some information.
Nah, I don't think so. The last person to ask me about him was that awful policeman. I don't want to have to go through that again.
I'm sorry you had a bad experience, but I can assure you I won't give you a hard time.
Well, that's easy for you to say, but actions speak louder than words.
Uh-oh. I think I know where this is going.
Is there anything I can do for you then?
Well, since you asked, my layabout husband is out wasting our retirement fund with his drinking. Go find him and bring him back here. Then maybe we can talk.
Oh, wonderful. Now we're playing babysitter.
You'll find him at the Silent Raven. It's not too far from here.
Yes, I know it.
Good. My husband's name is Kurt Williamson. You tell him his wife Ethel wants him home at once.
I'll do my best, Mrs. Williamson.
Fine.
Looks like they haven't bought... What a mess. Your mascot seems to be a raven with a glowing red eye. Is that meant to attract customers or to scare them off?
Can we listen to them?
Been pretty quiet in the streets of late, hasn't it, Bertie?
Oh, Bertie.
You noticed too? I thought it was just me.
I'm not complaining, mind you. It's nice to be able to go out and about without stepping over half the chum in the process.
Indeed. What do you reckon's the reason for it?
Not a clue. Can't be illness. We'd have heard something by now. Whatever it is, let's just hope it keeps up.
Doesn't look like cleaning up is...
I never thought I'd see that bridge finished in my lifetime.
I know. Who'd have thought?
They're saying it might even be done by the end of this decade.
Bet you're looking forward to spending more time in Gascoigne. Eh, Rose?
God, no.
She's Rose? Wait, we are not looking for a Rose, we are looking for a Ruby.
And drunk sailors. I'm just looking forward to not getting seasick anytime I need to cross the river. And anyway, there wasn't anything that we could do, so...
I don't like it when the streets are this quiet. Kind of miss all the traffic, you know.
Excuse me, barmaid?
Hi, what do you need?
Do you know anything about the man sitting at that table over there?
Not really. He comes in here a few times a week.
Bye-bye,
but he
Birdie.
mostly keeps to himself. I see his type all the time, though. Older, probably retired and looking to escape his home life. I feel sorry for him, but that sort of customer is my bread and butter.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
What is that, some fancy drink concoction?
No. It's the name that's been given to a serial murderer here in the Chum.
I see. Never heard of him. And if he's smart, he won't show his face round here.
You know, this place suddenly feels just a little bit safer.
This woman is dangerous, I'll tell you.
How are things here now that the election hubbub has subsided?
Oh, right. I thought you looked familiar. You were the one in here asking about the fellow who was killed.
That's right.
Well, there hasn't been too much excitement since then. I've hardly had to toss anyone out, which is a right shame.
Why's that?
Kicking out a rowdy customer shakes things up a bit on a quiet night like this. Gets the blood flowing, you know?
What would a customer have to do to warrant being thrown out?
My general rule is if they're being a nuisance, they're out. If they try to pick a fight or are just being generally disrespectful, it's a one-way ticket to the pavement outside.
So we gotta get
to know.
We gotta get this guy kicked out.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we won't be able to convince him to leave peacefully, so we have to get him to start a fight with us.
Are you Kurt Williamson?
That's right. Who are you?
Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator.
Oh, yeah? What is it you want from me?
Ethel sent me to tell you she wants you to come home right away.
I should have known. I can't get away for more than a few hours before she's put the entire city on high alert. How much of my retirement fund did she waste on getting you to come down here?
I'm only doing this because I need some information.
The joke's on you, then. You can just go back and tell her I'll come home when I'm damn well ready.
Why is it you're so averse to returning home?
I enjoy going out and having a good time. Is that so wrong?
Your wife told me she doesn't like you spending your money on drink.
What I spend my money on is none of her business, and even less of yours. What's this world coming to when a man can't even drink in peace without all his affairs shouted from the rooftops?
I feel for
you
the
know,
man. No?
This whole situation seems awfully familiar.
Listen, Mr. Williamson, I think I know what you're going through.
Oh, yeah?
My wife and I were having a rough patch. I wasn't being honest with her, and it nearly drove us apart.
But you managed to fix things.
Yes, I was fortunate. I did the right thing before it was too late.
And what did you do?
I showed her a good time. I told her the truth that I hear the voice of my dead partner.
It was simple. I just communicated honestly and openly with her. I told her what was wrong and how I was feeling. And you know what? She listened. Have you ever told Ethel why you like going out?
No. I assumed she wouldn't understand. I really wish she would come out with me, but I know she'd never agree.
How do you know? Have you actually talked to her about this?
Well, no.
Well, then maybe you should. If she knew you wanted company, she might just give it a try.
You know, I never thought of it like that. I'm going to go home right now and tell her. And if she refuses, well, at least I asked, right?
That's the spirit.
Okay, we don't
Thanks
have
for the
to
advice,
get the guy
friend.
kicked out.
I really do appreciate it.
Maybe that would be plan B if he had managed, if he had not managed to
Not bad.
convince him.
I have to say, I'm impressed.
Excuse me. What was it you said?
Pick a fight or just...
Right.
Okay. This option doesn't disappear. Which case is your favorite so far? It's hard to tell because I already forgot the first four cases, Marto. So one was the abduction of the kids, the other... It's been a week. It's been a week. I already forgot. What were they? Reminds me. Well, one was spontaneous combustion. The second was abduction of the kid. I'm really not remembering. Sorry. Let's go back in.
Ah, Mr. Fordham, thank you so much for getting Kurt back home.
Don't mention it. Now, would you be willing to answer some questions?
Mr. Bob.
Yes, of course.
Let's look at it. Lamplight City cases. Okay, the prologue is not counting the prologue. Oh, okay. The first one is the woman being buried alive. The second is the kidnapping of the kid. Then the spontaneous combustion. And the fourth one is... Oh, that's the man being murdered. The gay man being murdered. His sister had wanted us to investigate. I think that was my favorite. The fourth case, I think, was my favorite. But honestly, I enjoyed all of them. I think they were all well written. But I exceptionally enjoyed the fourth one because there were so many red herrings that could send you in the wrong direction. So finding the actual cause, motive, and the killer, it required more work. That is the reason I enjoyed the fourth one the most. As far as the difficulty goes, I think the one that you said you pronounced unsolvable, the spontaneous combustion one, right? That was kind of the most difficult to figure out. So maybe it was my second favorite.
Tell me what you know about Burley Cause.
He and his wife hadn't been living next door very long.
But yeah, I enjoyed all
4 months or so. But I didn't talk to either of them very much. They weren't interested in being neighborly, I guess. It's a shame, really. Maybe if we had known one another better, something like this could have been prevented.
What happened on the day Mr. Cause was killed?
I was here, at home, doing my knitting as usual. All of a sudden, I heard a loud bang. It sounded like a gunshot. I went and knocked on Mrs. Cause's door, but there was no answer. I did notice a smell, though, like flowers. Something seemed wrong, so I decided to report the incident to the police. Not long after that, an officer showed up and started asking questions. Awful man he was, so rude. I gotta report him, but I forgot his name. I think it started with a P.
Parsons?
Yes, that's him. He called for some more officers and they got into the apartment. That's when I found out Mr. Cause had been murdered.
Where is Mrs. Cause now?
I don't know, with her mother maybe. That's usually how it goes.
You wouldn't happen to know where that is, would you?
Afraid not, but there is one other thing.
Yes?
Don't say I told you this, but... Well, I used to hear the two of them through my wall.
Did he hurt his wife?
I tried ignoring it since it's really none of my business, but it became impossible.
What was it you heard?
I don't believe they had a happy marriage. They'd have awful fights a couple times a week.
What would they fight about?
Oh, all sorts of things. The worst one was when she discovered he was going to a brothel.
Okay, so all of the men were also going to the same brothel.
Too, but it can't be certain. I hope you don't think me a horrible old gossip, but I thought you might like to know.
Not at all.
So all four were going to the brothel, and all four were also hurting women. Be it their wives or the women working at the brothel.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
You mean the serial killer who's been killing men in Chumley?
That's the one.
Nah, never heard of him.
What?
I'm just pulling your leg, Mr. Fordham.
I like this one. She's got spirit.
Unfortunately, I only know what I've read in the Gazette, but it's scary to think some maniac is loose on the streets doing such terrible things. And with Kurt going out by himself for hours at a time, I don't like it one bit.
How long have you been living here?
Well, Kurt and I moved in shortly after we were married, so it's been about
Work is done here
34
proper now.
years.
Welcome, Ash.
Goodness, that's a
Glad
long
your
time to
work
be
is
living in
done.
one place.
Yes, well, the building may be a bit run down, and it gets colder than cold in the winter, but the rent has always been cheap. You can't really ask for much more than that.
I appreciate your time, Mrs. Williamson.
Have a good day, Mr. Fordham.
Beg your pardon. Forgot to knock.
Hey, it's just Johnny. How are you, Johnny? It's great to see you.
The number is call it a hunt. There doesn't seem to.
Okay. So we have been everywhere, and I have put 2 and 2 together. I don't think the characters did. Not sure what I'm supposed to do. Maybe I have to find where the women are working from. And let's try the police station before anything. I'm doing well, Johnny. I'm doing better today. I have recovered, not 100%, but enough. I'm feeling much better. And yeah.
Chief Snelling?
Yes, Fordham?
How are you?
Have you got any information on the Redites?
The Redites? That ridiculous gang of troublemakers? Yes, I have some
thank you.
information. What's your interest in them?
A witness is refusing to speak with me
How are you?
unless I can
How
figure
is
out
your
who sabotaged
family?
his iron
Is
mill.
anyone sick?
I see.
I'm hearing from everywhere
All I
that
can
people
offer is
are
a
getting
list
sick
of
for
names
like
of
a
known
week,
Redites along
usually.
with their last known whereabouts. But I remind you that you only have until tomorrow afternoon before this
It's very
indulgence
widespread.
expires, and I throw you in jail. This seems like a waste of time.
That's my decision to make.
Very well. I'll give you the list when you're ready to leave.
I need to get back to my investigation.
Yes. Time is not on your side, Fordham. Here you are. This is the most recent list of known Redites.
Harris was.
This is a lot of
no.
names.
What was
If
it?
we're going to track down this
Bates and
saboteur, it might
Ferguson.
be best to retire to a more tranquil environment. Fancy a trip back to Upton's?
Sure, but it is Pates and Ferguson. All good, just busy. You all had the sickness there a couple of weeks. Yeah. I'm glad you are. I'm assuming you are all feeling better now.
Right. This should be a quiet enough spot to concentrate on finding that saboteur. I just hope Upton doesn't mind you turning her parlor into your own personal study.
Good to get it now before.
I'm sure she'll
I
have
kind
no
of
objection.
agree. Kind of agree.
Now, let's have a look at that list again.
Peyton Ferguson. The initials match those on the letter we got at the Lamplight depot.
I'd say it's our best bet.
Lucian Donaldson. Those initials don't match the ones on the letter. I don't think this person is our suspect. If dead men could cause explosions, let's just say things would be a lot different. This clearly isn't the right suspect. Paris Wilson. Those initials don't match the ones on the letter. I don't think this is our suspect. Unless Mr. McKee has escaped from prison, which I highly doubt, he's not our man.
I do not get it at all.
I think we can rule out Mr. Sullivan as a suspect.
You're right. If you're going to get
He's
it,
Western Vespucci's problem
better
now.
get it and get rid of it early, right? So it is Pates. I can't actually click on the address. The game is going well. This is the final case. I did most of the game last week. Left the final case for today. Why are these... I don't need to go there. I don't need to waste any time. I shouldn't be wasting time. However, this case looks more complicated in general.
Well, who's this lovely specimen?
Allow me to introduce Peyton Ferguson, known Redite and prime suspect in a sabotage at the Thorbomb Ironworks. I picked him up and brought him straight to you.
Ooh, a saboteur. Just leave him to me and I'll make him feel right at home.
Please find the Justice Killer soon, Miles. Being Giles' prisoner is not my idea of a good time.
Right. I'll leave you to it then.
I thought I would be done with this in 2 hours. I don't think I'm any closer to figuring it out. Looks like an involved case.
Mr. Mims, a word if you wouldn't mind?
Yes, what is it?
I found the person responsible for sabotaging your iron mill.
This is not easy 2 hours.
His name is Peyton Ferguson.
That's
He's currently at the Bow Street Jail.
I've got the whole day for it.
Hey, not bad.
What's your favorite case?
Detective.
He certainly does.
It's certainly a few levels higher, more complicated and difficult than the other four.
What can you tell me about Hannibal Kirkland?
Even so far.
Good worker. Mostly kept to himself. Real shame what happened to him.
And I especially like that when we caught the kidnapper, in the second case, we could go to her court trial in this case and learn about a name, which might help us solve this case. So our success in the earlier cases did affect this case. So I really like that.
Do you know if anyone here disliked Kirkland?
Enough to want him dead? Nah. There's the occasional scrap, but everyone around here gets along for the most part. Like I said, he mostly kept to himself. Head down, didn't bother nobody.
Do you know what he did outside of work?
No idea. I only ever saw him here.
You said Kirkland was a good worker?
One of my best. I knew something was up when he didn't show up for a couple of days. Don't think he'd ever missed work before.
Did he have any personal effects he kept here, or an area where he worked?
He had a cabinet downstairs in the workers' changing area, just like everyone else. You can go take a look if you want, but I don't think the police found anything. Kirkland's cabinet is the third one from the left.
I'll be going now.
Be careful on your way out.
At least having a heater down here manages to keep things warm. I remember the changing rooms at the police station were always ice cold.
Gents, please stop shaving in the showers. The cleaning lady almost tore my head off. She says the drains can't take all the hair. Mims.
Sounds like there's someone in there. If you weren't so bashful, I'd suggest joining in. You could certainly use it.
Okay,
Mr. Mims, a word if you wouldn't mind?
Yes, what is it?
Would you happen to know the combination to Hannibal Kirkland's cabinet?
No. Every worker sets their own combination, and I don't ask for it.
What happens if they were to forget it?
Well, I have them come up with some sort of personal reminder. Keep those in a file.
And do you still have Kirkland's?
I'll give it to you as soon as we're done talking.
I'll be going now.
Be careful on your way out. There you go. You're lucky I only clean out my files at the end of the year.
See? I always told you I wasn't disorganized. Just preparing for the future.
The shipwreck, the red and white, the sign. Shipwreck, red and white, the sign.
He seems rather... He seems rather...
Shipwreck, red and white sign? What is he referencing? Which one is his? Let's see. Which one is him?
You have to wonder what the meaning behind this is. Not a very pretty way to go out. I wonder if he was trying to get something from that safe. The flower certainly... The flower... At least this poor slob got to die in bed. The justice killer sure is thorough, you have to give him that. Pretty flower, but is there really anything special about it? Bloody writing. This killer is one sick individual. Must have been a powerful shot to knock him backwards like that. That flower adds a nice touch to an otherwise drab apartment. Too bad about the body, though. Interesting place for a flower.
Thank you for the lurk, Draven. Enjoy your food.
Way to ruin a perfectly good wall. I bet that'll take ages to clean up. Therein lies Upton's boudoir. As a matter of respect, the less said the better, I think.
Angela Maxwell, leader of a spiritualist group in Gascon known as Spectre Society, was arrested yesterday on charges of fraud. After an extensive undercover operation by New Britannia police discovered that she was exploiting her clients and robbing them of their money. Detective Lester Baronet attended several meetings under an assumed name, during which he observed Miss Maxwell's ruse. She would claim her client was cursed, then offer healing services for a fee. The client would then pay exorbitant amounts of money over a period of time to be cured. A representative of the New Britannia police offered this warning: "We urge the public to be extremely wary of anyone claiming to be able to communicate with spirits or deceased loved ones. In reality, they often just prey on the grief-stricken and vulnerable." No, we told our wife that we are communicating with our deceased partner. Oh no. Wow. We'll see what happens.
No need to talk to him just now.
Okay. Shipwreck, red and white.
Blank, sir. No use, Bob.
What was the third?
Keep up the good.
Shipwreck, red and white sign. Well, red and white, is it wine? The shipwreck. The wine, the sign. So it says 3 digits. The first letters would be 2 digits long. Maybe it's the number of letters. But no. That wouldn't work.
Safe for only 20... I don't think that... I wonder...
Shipwreck is... what was it? HMS? Some number?
Dr. Tennis, these things. Dr. W. Prevent this. Greens, talk about. Professor Xander, I really. Simon Banks, I'm sure. PD Press, handsome, I suppose. Completely. This place sure. You see.
Oh! Oh! Shipwreck 4. I see a 4 there. 4 red and white sign. Sign. 4 something 3. What is red and white? This 9. Is that a 9? 493.
Empty. That's disappointing.
Not completely empty. There's something at the bottom here.
The Gilded Lily. Oh, lilies. 12 refined ladies in waiting, all sizes, petite, skinny, buxom. Special. Present this handbill and 50 shillings for normal 1 crown treat. 459 Petticoat Lane, Chumley. Welcome. So this is the brothel, which is called the Gilded Lily.
It seems our friend Hannibal had a few extracurricular activities after all.
Gilded Lily, huh? That's a bit suspicious.
Who knew such a pretty flower could cause such an inconvenience? The answer to that question is me, in case you were wondering. Flowers bring nothing but trouble. Trouble and snot.
That's enough, Bill. We need to get a move on.
So it's time we visit this brothel. So maybe this man is an assassin working for the brothel.
He seems rather upset over the...
Well, hello there, handsome. Welcome to the Gilded Lily. Come over here and tell me what kind of pleasure it is you're looking for.
I'm afraid I'm here for business, not pleasure.
Oh, well, that's just a shame, isn't it?
I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. And you are?
You can call me Serafina. I'm in charge of this establishment.
You won't mind if I take a look around or ask you some questions?
As long as you keep to the front room, you can do whatever you like. Beyond that, you're gonna have to pay.
Maybe it's best if you leave this part out when you tell Adelaide about the case later.
But why? This is the most exciting part.
I'm not too familiar with places like this, but I believe that's where the fun happens, if you've got the crowns for it. Oh, my virgin eyes! You certainly won't find art like that at the National Gallery. What a charming statue. Wouldn't she get cold fetching water in that state of undress?
Okay.
Looks nervous. Wonder if this is his first time.
May I ask you a few questions, Serafina?
Of course you may, but I can't guarantee the answers will be free.
She has an eye patch.
Do you know anything about the Justice Killer?
I'm afraid not, dear. I don't normally associate with killers.
Are you sure you don't know anything? He's the reason I'm here.
Well, I can assure you I know nothing about your murderer. If the trail has led you here, it's surely just coincidence.
Yeah, she seems awfully certain of that. It's a good thing we don't believe in coincidences.
Did you have a man named Hannibal Kirkland as a client?
I make it my practice not to learn the names of any customers here, Mr. Fordham. I hate to disappoint anyone who comes through those doors, but discretion is paramount in this business.
Well, at least you know you can trust these women with your secrets.
Do you by chance have a girl named Ruby in your service?
Ruby? Yes, she's one of our newest girls. She's not in any sort of trouble, is she?
Not at all. I merely wanted to speak with her.
Well, she should be in the dressing room. If you go through the rear door and follow the hallway down, it's the last door on the left.
I see. Thank you. Did you know Percival McDonough?
The politician? I knew who he was, but never met him personally.
He was seeing Ruby, wasn't he?
Not regularly, no. In fact, his first and only visit with her was yesterday.
Were you aware that he was murdered shortly after that?
I had no idea. How terrible.
Yes, it is terrible. This means she's lost a potential repeat customer.
Fair enough.
This is a lovely establishment you have, and such a nice name, too.
Thank you, my dear. It wasn't always called the Gilded Lily, though. We were formerly known as Le Maison de Tolérance.
What inspired the name change?
What does it mean?
That's a bit of a long story. Not worth getting into.
How long have you been operating?
Going on 25 years. Business has been good. There's a reason this is the world's oldest profession, you know.
So, how did you get into this business?
Like many of the other girls, it was the best of some bad options. I had no interest in being beholden to a husband. I may be a fallen woman, but better to fly and fall than to have your wings clipped.
Do you enjoy the work?
It's a job like any other, Mr. Fordham. There are good days and there are bad days. But my girls are my family. We take care of each other. I couldn't ask for anything better.
Thank you for your time.
Of course, my dear.
So I'm assuming this is the rear door.
Oh, hello. Did Serafina send you back here for me?
Yes, but not for the usual reasons. I'm a private investigator. My name is Miles Fordham. Ruby, I presume?
Yes, that's right. What do you need from me?
Just some information.
Well, I'll do my best.
The girls here don't get much in the way of a dressing area. Still, something is better than nothing, I suppose. Lily, 1809 to 1843.
Okay.
I wonder what happened to her.
Okay.
That's a nice locket for being such a cheap piece of jewelry.
3132213. 3132213. You solved the puzzle with broken furnace. Yes, I did, yes.
No lilies? Seems like a missed opportunity. Cut down in her prime. I can relate.
You got stuck there. Honestly, I think it wasn't really well connected. Like, we saw the initials from some other sabotage attempt from the letter of the Lamplighter place. And then we assumed that the person who put their initials on the threatened letter must be the one who also sabotaged the furnace. It doesn't make too much sense, but that was the only clue we had. I mean, I kind of gamified it because that was the only thing game was giving me. You did not make the connection. That was the only connection. Otherwise, it's not a great connection, so I don't blame you.
That's a nice...
Okay. Three one three 2213. So this Lily was probably a worker here and was killed by an aggressive customer. And now the other guy who liked Lily is taking revenge by killing all those other customers who hurt the workers in this brothel. Something like that.
I'm guessing this is where most...
We shall see.
So, Ruby.
Yes?
Have you heard of the Justice Killer?
No, I don't believe so.
He's a serial murderer who's killed 5 victims, mostly men from Chumley.
Oh dear, that sounds dreadful. Is that what you're investigating?
It is. Do you know anyone who might have some information about him?
I don't. Sorry I can't be more help.
Did you ever have a client named Hannibal Kirkland?
No, that name doesn't sound familiar. Sorry.
Do you know Ennis Bowditch?
Bowditch? Didn't think I'd be hearing that
Bowditch?
name again.
As I understand it, he was seeing your friend, the serving girl at the ruined coffee house.
Yeah, that's right. Annabelle. She broke things off with him a while ago, though.
So she said. Did you ever know him to be violent?
Violent? The bastard nearly beat Annabelle's brains in once. Why do you think she chucked him?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
At least she had the good sense to get rid of him.
Perhaps we should go confirm this newly discovered fact with Annabelle.
Did you ever meet a man named Burley Cause?
No, I never met him, but one of the other girls had him as a client. I remember because she was laughing about his name. He wasn't very burly, if you get my meaning.
Right. Are you familiar with Reggie Willingham?
Oh, him? He had to be banned from here.
Really? What happened?
He got way too rough with one of the girls. She ended up shy a few teeth.
Dear Lord.
Yeah, apparently he wasn't too fond of boundaries. Good riddance to him, I say.
Were you aware that Mr. Willingham was murdered?
What? Oh, well, now I feel terrible for saying good riddance. I meant...
I think I know what you meant, Ruby. It's fine.
Is it me, or is there a pattern starting to emerge here?
You met recently with Percival McDonough, is that right?
How did you know that? I thought he was meant to keep those sorts of things private.
He had your name written down in his calendar.
And you found me here based on that?
Well, I am a detective.
Suppose that's true.
I mean, I don't want to brag.
Anyway, yes. I only met him the one time. There wasn't anything remarkable about him. After we finished, he got all emotional about his wife, but I could hardly understand what he was saying. I hate it when they cry afterwards.
That's a rather nice portrait. Who's the subject?
Oh, that's Lily. Before my time. Serafina knows loads about her. Even changed the name of this place in her honor. You might try asking her if you want to know more.
Oh, I will.
How long have you been in this business?
Only a few months now. Used to work at a kitchen, but then they brought in some of those new automated machines.
Ah, a sadly familiar story.
At least this profession isn't in any danger of being made obsolete by steam tech. Cold steel can never replace a warm touch.
Maybe not
Let's
steam.
just hope that's true.
I'll just leave you to it then.
Thanks, love.
Just wait another 100 years. 150.
May I ask you a few questions, Serafina?
Of course you may, but I can't guarantee the answers will be free.
8,000. How are you, 8,000? Good to see you.
Could you tell me about the young lady in the portrait hanging in the back room?
Ah, that's Lily Peterson. She was a wonderful woman and a great friend.
What happened to her?
It's a rather tragic story, Mr. Fordham. I'd rather not go into too much detail. The short version is this.
What else is new?
She was with a client who got
very
very carried away. She was able to defend herself enough to mortally wound the bastard, but the damage had already been done. The girls and I decided among us that we would rename this establishment in her honor. Some days it's still hard to believe she's gone. I haven't even been able to get rid of her box of things.
I'm very sorry for your loss, Serafina.
Thank you, dear. It was especially awful given Lily's past. Her sister died at the hands of her own husband some 16 years before. Some people just can't escape tragedy, no matter how far they run.
Huh. Something tells me these deaths are significant. It might be a good idea to learn as much as we can about Lily Peterson.
Yes. Can we also see that box of items, please?
Thank you for your time.
Of
no,
course,
ask for
my
the
dear.
items. Ask for the items. Oh, I guess the items.
We've exhausted
the rolled paper and whatnot. Maybe. Is that all? Could be all. Well, two things to do. First, we confirm. Where did Raven go? Was it here? It wasn't here. Where did Silent Raven go? Do we ever ask for items in these games? You feel like if you want to check a box of items, we just steal them or snoop around. No, we do ask for items in this game. It's happened a few times. That's weird. It was specifically said that we should go and see that other woman and confirm that she had been beaten in Silent Raven. But the place disappeared from map, so we cannot actually do that. Weird.
Chief Snelling?
Yes, Fordham?
You can never ask for items. Someone will ask for your help with something. This game is very different with inventory system and item accumulation and using. Honestly, it's refreshing. It's a good system.
Do you recall a murder involving a woman named Lily Peterson about a year ago?
It makes it easier in that regard.
Lily Peterson? Yes, that name does sound familiar. Of course, the prostitute murder. That wasn't one of yours, was it?
No.
Like, for example, with that calendar puzzle.
Do you remember any other details?
You didn't have to
the woman
think
was
about
beaten
possibly
severely
using a
by one of her
pencil
clients
to trace the
and was
paper
never
and
found.
figure out what
She
was
died a
written.
few days later in the hospital. How is this of any relevance
You could by
exactly?
chance
That's
talk
what
to the
I'm
guy,
trying to piece
ask
together.
for a pencil, then again by chance use the paper and trace it without having to figure it out. So in that way, this game is easier with those kinds of puzzles.
Did you know that Lily Peterson had a sister who was killed some 16 years ago?
I didn't.
But also
Are you suggesting that's related somehow?
I think it is. Would you be able to get me the case file?
What was the victim's name?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
That might be a bit more difficult, unless you can give me more details.
I'll try my best.
Very well. What year did you say the case was from?
I'm going to have to check the word. Let's see. So, Lily was killed in 1843, and 16 years before, her sister was killed. So that would be 29. 27. Wait, what did I say? 43, 16 years before, right? 27. So let's say the case is from 28, the next year.
It was 16 years ago, so 1828.
Right. And who was the detective assigned to the case?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You realize that will make it significantly more difficult to find the file.
Perhaps we'll get lucky.
And what was the victim's official cause of death?
Wait, I'm supposed to learn about these? Maybe I'm here early.
It was a stabbing.
All right. I'll have a look and see if I find anything.
Lack of potassium.
There's nothing I can see that matches the information you gave me. I suggest you get your details in order before you attempt to waste my time again.
So I don't think the game is actually limiting me with time, but I will still reload to before this conversation.
Hello again.
Probably best.
I still need to figure more out. Let's see. Three one three two 213. I mean, I have to be missing some sort of information.
No time to waste.
Cannot really ask anyone. Did I maybe miss those items? Box of items in Gilded Lily. Well, let's visit everywhere.
Leave him to his work.
Do the rounds.
Begging your pardon, miss.
How can I help you, sir?
Oh, this is that woman. She was not in Raven.
I spoke with your friend Ruby. She told me something quite disturbing.
What was that?
She said that Ennis had fits of violence, and that the reason you ended your relationship was because he hit you.
Why would she tell you that? That was my secret to tell, not hers. I thought we were friends.
It's obvious she cares about you and was worried about your well-being.
Well, it hardly matters now Ennis is dead, does it?
But is it true? Did he raise his hand to you?
Yes, it is true. As I said before, something changed in him. I have no idea what, but I had to get away.
I see. Thank you for your honesty. I'm sorry you had to experience what you did. I'll let you get back to work.
Thank you, sir.
So I got the places confused. This is what I was talking about before.
She's busy.
But that doesn't help us with Lily's case. Maybe he knows. He's an old-timer. He may remember those days.
Keep up the good work.
Oh, come on.
I don't think there's...
What about you? Do you know, sir?
He seems right.
Yeah. Okay, I must be missing something here. Which made the most sense to begin with.
We've exhausted.
Let's talk to Ruby again.
So.
Yes?
Serafina told me that Lily's possessions are still here.
Why can't we not ask Serafina, but we can ask her?
Yeah, in that cabinet over there. Lily had a special place in Serafina's heart. I don't think she has the nerve to get rid of this stuff yet.
Do you think I could take a look through it?
Oh, I don't know.
1 second. Sorry about it.
There you go. All yours for the browsing.
Okay. Not very intuitive. We should have been able to ask Seraphine about this.
These don't look too valuable. A cheap ring. Must have had sentimental value because otherwise there'd be no point in keeping it.
Ah, I see. 3132213.
Nice scarf. Impressively clean, too. Lily clearly took care of her things. Let's see what we have in here.
February 11, 18 something. Dear Miss Peterson. While it's unorthodox practice for a detective to maintain contact with relatives of a victim after the case has been closed, your story has touched me on a deeper level. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help you during this difficult time. I understand you have decided to take it upon yourself to raise your sister's son. For that, I commend and respect your strength and will. Oh, is it Ruby's son? The Justice Killer? I mean, Ruby's sister's son. Ruby's nephew. So Ruby took it upon herself to raise her deceased sister's son when her sister was killed by her husband. Then Ruby started working in the brothel, and she was killed herself by another man. So the son took it upon himself to avenge all of these murders of women. And so she started killing people who hurt the people who worked in this Gilded Lily brothel. That must be the story. Again, do not hesitate to contact me if there's anything I can do to help. So the detective is Lester Barrett. We don't really know how the sister is killed just yet, so that would be...
One of 3 buttons with an engraved lily on it. I wonder if they're just decorative or if they have some other purpose.
3132213.
Well now, I think we just found ourselves a bonanza.
Aunt Lily, I tried, God knows I tried, but I couldn't let the bastard get away with his crime. I refuse to watch you suffer the same fate as Mother. Justice had to be done. I snuffed out his life, just as he tried to choke yours out of your body. Choke yours out of your body. The blood that stains this letter is his. As I write this, you're in a hospital, bad, unconscious. I don't know if I'll ever be able to speak with you again, but I'm placing this letter in your secret place in hope that you will someday be able to read it. In the meantime, I have discovered my true calling. I must dispense justice to those who harm innocent women. I have seen the cycle of violence go on for far too long. I have lost both my mother and aunt to violent men, and I must stop this from happening again. I spoke with Gloria, and she told me she had been violated by one of her clients, an iron worker named Hannibal Kirkland. I will observe his habits until the time is right to strike. After he's taken care of, I will find others and do the same until this wretched city is scrubbed clean. I need to send a message. Love to you always, I think. So how is the mother killed though? How is the first woman killed? Choked? Is she also choked?
Nice.
We don't know that. We know she was killed.
Damn shame.
By the husband.
No lilies? That's a nice lie.
Could be. I don't know.
So, Ruby.
Yes?
I found this letter inside a secret compartment in the box belonging to Lily.
Lily's, yeah.
Do you know anything about it?
I thought we agreed you wouldn't take anything from there.
This is a special case. This letter's from Lily's nephew, the Justice Killer.
Oh, I see. Look, I've only been here a short time. I don't know anything about Lily or any killers or anything, I swear.
You know, I think she's telling the truth.
I'll just leave you to it then.
Thanks, love.
May I ask you a few questions, Serafina?
Of course you may, but I can't.
Okay.
Serafina, what can you tell me about Lily's nephew?
Her nephew? I didn't know she had a nephew. Lily didn't talk much about her family, as you can probably imagine.
You're not lying to me, are you?
I have nothing to hide from you.
Except maybe the truth. But I don't think we have what we need to make her talk. If there even is anything that would make her talk.
Thank you for your time.
Of course, my dear.
It would be nice if you could at least try and ask him how Lily's sister died.
New critical hits boost. Thazan just boosted Shadowrun returns for 5 boosts. Number 1. New critical hits boost. Thazan just boosted Undertale.
Undertale. What is this? Deltarune, Stonekeep, Arcs.
New critical hits boost. Thazan just boosted Arkhol's boost.
Arkhol's boost? What is it? Arcs Fatalis or Stonekeep? You need to clarify. Is it Arcs? Okay. Thank you for the boost, Thazan. Stonekeep gets Stonekeep related plans. Ah, okay. Alright. I mean, we are still missing information. But I think I will give it a try at the police.
Chief Snell.
Yes.
Do you recall him?
Lily Pete, of course. She died. How is this event?
That's what I'm trying to... Did you know that Lily Peterson had a sister?
I didn't.
I think it is.
What was the...
That's what I'm trying...
That might be a...
I'll try...
Right? What?
Okay, we know this.
Right.
We know Lester Barnes.
It was less...
Right. He was... And what was the victim's official cause of death?
Strangulation. So we are to assume that the Justice Killer's mother was also strangulated, choked. It's not implicitly stated, but we have to assume that from the letter.
It was strangulation.
All right. I'll have a look and see if I find anything.
You do know a few.
Yes. Here we are. This should be a match. Have a look.
New Britannia Police Department, Worcester, Kingsland.
So we have our killer's last name and possible first name, assuming he's the same man Linda Walker talked about.
Samuel something.
Perhaps it's time to ask about him at the docks.
Case file number 3211420. Date March 30, 1828. Found every single clue and document in the game. Oh, nice. I got an achievement, a thorough achievement. Victim name, Liam Collins, Daisy Collins. Victim ages, 37, 34. Enjoy your food, Tazon. Thank you so much for the lurk. Good luck with dinner preparation. Cause of death, gunshot, self-inflicted, strangulation. Report, police were notified after a neighbor heard shouting and general commotion from the Collins apartment. Upon arrival, they found Daisy Collins in the living room with clear signs of strangulation. In the bedroom, they found Liam Collins, the apparent victim of a self-inflicted gunshot to the head. Searching the rest of the apartment, officers found a young child, aged approximately 4 years old, hiding in a closet. The child did not respond to questions and was visibly upset. Detective Lester Barnett conducted an investigation and determined that Liam Collins attacked his wife, likely under influence of alcohol, and accidentally caused her death. Upon realizing what he had done, he used his own pistol to take his life. The child had been taken into police custody and is awaiting transfer to an orphanage if no next of kin is located. So we are looking for a Samuel Collins. Wow. Yeah, get your boosts in. We are probably close to the end of the game. We might be able to finish this soon. And I will finish the stream after we finish the game, so get your boosts in. You know what? Let's make a save. It feels like we are entering dangerous territory slowly.
Keep up the good work, Mr. Hastings.
We cannot ask Mr. Hastings.
You again? What do you need?
A few more questions, if you don't mind. Do you know a man named Samuel Collins?
Yes, I do. He's one of my workers.
Is he working today?
No, it's his day off. Why do you ask?
I'm very interested in speaking with him. Could you tell me where I can find him?
I don't just give out information on my men to strangers. What reason do you have for wanting to speak with him?
I believe he may be involved in some serious crimes.
Is that right? And what are these serious crimes, exactly?
I believe Samuel's the justice killer.
What? That's absolutely preposterous. You've got quite some imagination, sir. And here I thought you were serious.
About Samuel Collins?
Yes? What about him? You've made a rather lofty accusation. What exactly is it he's done?
I believe he's stealing money from you and your business.
What? Do you have proof of this?
No, I guess I don't.
Stop wasting my time, then!
About Samuel...
Yes? What
I believe he stole from one of your customers.
What? From who?
The Hanbrook Flower Shop. He stole several orders of Easter lilies.
Okay.
The Hanbrook Flower Shop? They're not one of my customers. I only sell to wholesalers.
A minor detail. The point remains that your man's a burglar.
That's quite a serious claim. What proof do you have?
You can hear it straight from the man who works at the shop that was burgled.
Well, where is he then?
Wait here just a moment.
Really? That's the one that works.
Excuse me, Mr. Hastings?
What is it, Detective? As I said, I'm rather busy.
I was wondering if you might help me with something. Could you please tell the shipping manager over there about the burglaries at your flower shop?
Certainly.
Go ahead, Mr. Hastings.
Right. It all started around 5 months ago. And he didn't come around again after that night.
Thank you, Mr. Hastings. That'll do.
Days pass.
Now are you convinced?
2 hours later.
I hate to lose 2 of my men in such a short amount of time. But if he's done wrong, I can't just stand by. Samuel lives in Chumley, at 210 Abattoir Row.
Thank you, sir. You may have just saved several lives.
But I'm going to have to spend several crowns in order to get things back to normal. Now, if you'll excuse me...
Suspects added. I don't think there are any other suspects.
New critical hits boost. Parrotwise just
The
boosted
Justice
Sacred.
Killer and the burglar from Flower Shop murders men who abuse women. So, Sacred.
New
Passes
critical hits boost.
Darklands.
Parrotwise just boosted Path of Exile.
Path of Exile.
New critical hits boost. Parrotwise just boosted Diablo 3.
I will appreciate the support. Thank you for the boost, Parrot. As always. Okay, let's go get this guy. Let's go get this dude. Confronted the Justice Killer in his own home.
Samuel Collins?
Yes?
I'm Terrence Shackley from the Labor Department. I wanted to ask you some questions about your employer.
Are you serious? He saw you.
Oh, of course.
He
Please
killed
come
your
in.
partner. Do you think you can actually trick him?
I'm sorry. What did you say your name was?
Terrence Shackley? But it's not my real name. I just used it to get into your apartment. I believe you did something similar at the Houses of Parliament with Mr. McDonough.
So, you're Fordham, the one who was snooping around at the Gilded Lily.
Indeed. We meet again, Mr. Collins.
Of course. The rooftop. I'm sorry about what happened to your partner. It wasn't my intent for him to die.
Oh, he's sorry, is he? Is that supposed to make things better?
I suppose this encounter was inevitable. But I admit I didn't think it would be this soon. So, you're here to arrest me.
You know what they say about assuming. You're lucky I don't kill you. What does this mean? Does it mean that we are not here to arrest him?
With everything you've done, you're lucky I don't just kill you.
That would be preferable to jail. But I don't think you can bring yourself to do it. You know as well as I do. Every one of those men deserved what they got.
The only people who deserve death are those who kill.
How easy it is for you to be the judge of others.
Wait, so you're the judge of others?
I can do the same.
Yeah.
I judged those men, and I found them wanting.
I understand your reasons, but that doesn't mean your actions were justified. You need to pay for your crimes, one way or another.
My crimes? What about theirs? If not for me, they would have gotten away with them.
There are other ways of upholding justice, Collins. Ways that don't involve mass murder.
The system is broken. Criminals get away all the time. You know that.
Only too well.
But you comprehend my situation. You understand my reasons for doing what I do.
Understanding is not the same as approval.
But it is the first step.
Is this bastard really suggesting what I think he is?
All I
Yes,
ask
let's team
is
up.
that you
Get rid
allow
of Bill.
me to continue my work
partners.
in peace. You looked the other way once before. You can do it again.
I never looked the other
You're
way.
right. I did look the other way, and it wound up costing my partner his life.
Wait, when
You're
did I
out
look
of
the
your
other way?
mind if you think I'm going to just let you keep killing.
Damn right, Miles. This has to end.
Why did we look the other way?
Then you leave me no choice.
Oh no.
Fordham, are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine.
So, this is our justice killer?
That's right.
I suppose congratulations are in order. You did well in finding him.
He's good
Thank
in
you, Chief
general.
Snelling.
His work means
I'm
fluent.
glad
I
we
think
were
it's very
finally
good.
able to work together.
Yes.
I think it's
Well,
very good. I
I'm
really
glad you
enjoyed
weren't
it.
so
It's a
brash as
great
to confront
detective
him without
adventure.
notifying me first. Perhaps there is hope for you yet. Now then, I'll go get the other officers so we can lock down the scene and remove the body. Wait here.
Quite a night, eh, Bill?
Oh,
Bill?
Bill is gone.
Are you there?
We did
Bill?
it. We put Bill to rest. Or he's trolling us. Wait for it in sale. Yes, definitely. look for a discount and get it. I mean, in my opinion, it deserves full price, but I understand why you would look for a discount.
It's good of you to do this, Miles.
Games are not cheap.
Do you need some time alone?
If you wouldn't mind.
All right. I'll wait for you over by the sycamores.
So, it's finally over. I have to admit, it's been strange not hearing you all the time anymore. Never in a million years did I think I would
also recommend the developers'
miss it.
other games.
But the important thing is you've moved on. And
Golden Wake.
I got what I was looking for.
I haven't tried Ben Jordan yet, but I will.
I'm starting up my
and
own
he's
private
making
detective
Rosewater,
agency,
which I'm looking forward to.
Addie and Upton are going to be my partners. It should be interesting, to say the least. Oh, that reminds me. I brought you a little something. It's not much, but I thought you might appreciate it. Thank you for all your help, Bill. I truly would have been lost without it. Goodbye, old friend. I love you.
I love you too, says Bill. No, Bill! He was trolling all along, waiting for this moment. He wasn't actually gone. Nice. Correctly solved every case. Completed the game. We did it. We 100%ed it. We finished solving every case correctly and fully. Finding all the documents. I'm happy. I'm really happy. And I love this game. GG's. Thank you. Thank you. It was a great game. Thank you everyone who recommended this to me. Really enjoyed it. Is this also Rahman now? What's that? Oh, is that new? I haven't seen that one. Nice emote, BGH.
And there was much rejoicing.
Thank you, everyone. Finishing early or moving on? No, I'm finishing early. I'm finishing early today. I'm also taking tomorrow off. I'm not going to start Edna and Harvey tomorrow. I will rest at another day. I will come back on Friday. Had that since the very beginning. Oh, interesting. I don't think I ever noticed it then. GGFX. Thank you very recognize it. It is is it some video card? Voodoo? Something symbol? I'm not sure. Logo? Change to GG? I'm not so sure. Is it? Yeah. It's a bit difficult to make out with the color scheme unless you really zoom in. 3DFX logo. Yes, 3DFX. You still have a Voodoo card? Really? What do you do with it? Do you have it installed in a case or is it just sitting outside? You really loved it, didn't you, Bogu? I've been trying not to joke about it, but you really enjoyed it. Watch Monty Python Holy Grail on your off day. No, I think what I'm going to do is we are going to set up some watch party at some point, if I can figure out how we can do that. And we are going to watch it together. Actually, I should talk to you about it, Bogu. How you set up your watch parties. What is a good legal way, if there is one, to set up a watch party? Because I don't have any subscriptions like Netflix or anything. Yeah, but I don't have anything that I can stream the movie from legally. Maybe we should find someone who has the DVD version or something and make them host it. But what I want to do is I want to watch it together. You hear Monty Python DVD? Would you be willing to set it up? Board Game Heaven? We could watch it together at some point on Discord. That sounds great. Let's set it up sometime. Let's talk about it and set it up. During the Xmas holiday. That sounds like a good idea. Yeah, we can find a day. I will be streaming on Christmas and New Year's Eves. I won't take a break, I think. But we can certainly find a day to do it.
Moo 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 moo. Moo 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 moo.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Moo.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yay! Yeah, this was a good game for sure. I'm looking forward to Rosewater. Looking forward to Rosewater, and I'm also going to play Ben Jordan all 8 episodes at some point. I know it's his first games. They are free games. I don't expect them to be this kind of high quality. But I have come to trust his work that it will be good regardless. It will at least be fun. It won't be a bad game, I think. Has anyone played the Ben Jordans? I think Marta may have played it. You missed the whole stream. Sarcasm. Sorry. It's a short stream, yeah. Yeah, 12, almost 13 hours. I think it's a good time for 100%ing the game correctly on stream. I think it's a good time. You missed the ending. That's good. You can watch it yourself. You can play it yourself next, or possibly you can check out the VOD if you don't want to. But yeah, I will be leaving today. I won't be moving on to something else. Let's find someone to raid. Tony is streaming. We have raided Tony not long ago.
New
we could raid Skash.
NIXED242 just boosted Gothic 2.
You need to play it. Yeah, it's a great game. I think you will enjoy it.
New
yeah, Joe is
boost.
playing
NIXED242 just boosted Legend of
raid her
Grimrock.
also. Grimrock. Let's get the boosts done first. It's been a while. 3 weeks or so since I raided Joe. But even longer for Skash, so I could go for Skash. We'll see.
New critical hits boost. NIXED242 just boosted Stone Keep.
Thank you for the boosts. Joe is a good idea for sure. I'm going to check if anyone's actually playing this game, Lamplight City. No, just me, just me. We could raid Dauntless as well. I'm not sure if we even raided Dauntless ever, did we? Oh, we did, I think. She was ending at that point.
Bye-bye, birdie.
Okay, let's go say hi to Joe.
Bye-bye, birdie.
Later, dudes.
Later, dudes. Yeah, Joe is playing No One Lives Forever, an FPS from I don't remember what year. I remember enjoying this game when I played it though. I don't remember much about it, but I remember enjoying it. And yeah, as I said, today a short stream. Tomorrow I'm taking another day off, and the poll is going on. It's going to continue until we finish Winter Nights 2. We are going to continue Winter Nights 2 next week, a Friday, starting a Mask of the Betrayer. And next week we are also going to have an extra stream, Project Zomboid, selected by Quiescent Pandemonium on Monday. And we are also going to start Edna and Harvey series on Tuesday. So looking forward to all of those. And yeah, hope to see you soon. Hopefully next stream on Friday or whenever you can make it. Until then, multiplayer, we can talk about it, multiplayer. I'm not 100% sure, but it's something to consider. Until then, take care of yourselves and be well, and goodbye for now.